From Champaign, Illinois, this is the Jumping the Rail podcast with your hosts Mark Redmond and Mike Nargelinas.
All right, episode 17 of the Jumping the Rail podcast is a little tardy, but we are with you on Facebook Live. I am Mark Redmond, joined by my tag team partner, the original drummer from Timbuk 3, Mike Nargelinas. Narge, how's it going, buddy?
Pretty good, sir. How are you?
Not too bad. We got a guest with us today, Narge, and it is our listenership is going to hurt today because our primary listener is actually with us today, and that is Mr. Duane Carter. Duane, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing all right. How you guys doing?
Oh, not too bad. So, it's been about a week, but we didn't have a show last week, and I figured it was kind of worth the time to talk a little bit about the big news story from last week, Narge, and that is, of course, the passing of Scott Hall.
Yeah, that... Nope, that was my phone.
Oh.
Terribly unfortunate. I'm distracted by Marco and your shirt that you're wearing, which is awesome. You got the old school Outsiders T-shirt on there with Scott and Kev.
I bought this shirt like 4 years ago, and I have not worn it yet. This is the maiden wear of this shirt. So
not a bad choice for tonight.
I thought it was appropriate.
Being a wrestling fan is complicated because we're one of the few groups where it seems like we're always having to deal with somebody who passes away and the thing that we love the most. NFL, baseball, NBA, it doesn't seem like it's as much. With professional wrestling, it's anywhere between 10 to 20 figures a year almost. It
seems that way.
So, and Scott, somebody who kind of one of those feel-good stories, fell off the wagon years ago. Diamond Dallas Page got him back up and running. Got inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame. Had maybe one of the most famous speeches of all time.
Yeah.
Got inducted again last year.
Mm-hmm.
Featured on the new video game this year that was literally just released days before his passing. The WWE 2K22's got an NWO edition.
Right.
There is no NWO without Scott Hall. There's no a lot of things without Scott Hall. So.
Yeah.
This one hurt. This one was tough for sure.
Yep. I mean, it's one of those things where 10 years ago I would not have been surprised to hear that this happened. But credit to DDP, he extended Scott's life by longer than he had any business living, truth be told.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, Diamond Dallas Page, credit out to him for all the guys he's helped. Look at Jake Roberts. I mean, my God, if anybody had ever watched Beyond the Ring or Beyond the Mat.
Beyond the Mat.
You wouldn't have thought Jake Roberts would have made it, as far as he has. And I mean, you'd have never known he went through any of that stuff just by looking at him now. Looks fantastic. Right. I mean, he's a part of the AEW roster.
Yeah. He just looks like any ordinary 60-some-year-old guy,
I'm kind of hoping this Scott Hall thing maybe is a wake-up call for some of the other guys. Somebody like Buff Bagwell, who just moved into the DDP house.
Yeah.
Bagwell's kind of been one of those guys who rode a wave of popularity there, late 90s, early 2000s, and then kind of fell off and seems to be in trouble with the law more than anything.
Right, yeah. His Gigolo's gig kind of went away.
He did say he wanted to have a death match.
Yeah.
I don't know if we talk about that on here?
I think it got brought up. We didn't really get into it too much.
I say give it to him.
Yeah, and I think you said that it should be Nick Gage.
I think so.
I think you said Schlack.
Schlack would be great. Anybody. I've seen Effie do a death match. Effie
right.
and Buff Bagwell, I think, would be fun.
What about the deathmatch king, Matt Cardona?
Man, he's everywhere, isn't he? He is everywhere. He retained his belt this past weekend against Nick Aldis, one of your favorites.
Yeah.
And then I read today he's going to be wrestling for the Squared Circle Expo championship.
He's in the main event of the wrestling show they're running at the Expo in Indianapolis.
Against Jake Oman?
Yeah.
Cardona's already got 6 belts.
Yeah.
I mean, we really are approaching the Ultimo Dragon status.
Yeah, we're getting there. We need to have like a tally on our page.
Oh yeah,
like a side by side.
Mark, do you have a favorite Scott Hall moment?
My favorite is it's got to be when he showed up on Nitro that first time.
What about you, Duane?
I would say when he won the Intercontinental match, WrestleMania with Shawn Michaels.
The ladder match.
Yeah.
Both awesome. I and I'll tend to agree with you, Mark. I think him coming out on Nitro. I shared a meme or something the other day, and they're kind of comparing that to Cody. But if we didn't have the internet, Scott comes out on Nitro, and you're like, I remember being a kid. It was what was it, 96? 12. I was 12 years old, so
I was 14. So I wasn't much older.
How old were you, Duane?
1996, I was 25.
25. So
This was in May of 96. So had you hit?
No, in May of 96, I would have been 24 because I didn't turn 25 until October.
So you're twice my age then, Duane, and you were probably just as shocked as I was to see Razor Ramon come out, jump the guardrail,
right?
And the way the announcer sold it, I mean, it was it was perfect.
Shivani was masterful when he came out.
Hall just was the epitome of cool. I watched a video the other day where they're throwing garbage in the ring. You've probably seen this one. He gets hit in the head with a cup of Coke and then slicks his hair back like Danny Zuko, like no problem.
I've been on a 97 Nitro binge the last few days, and I actually watched that episode yesterday. So I saw it just full on in the face. It was
sold it like
didn't
nobody's
flinch.
business.
Yeah. Scott Hall kind of reminded me of Tony Montana from the movie Scarface.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's where he got the accent from.
Yeah.
Which he eventually lost as time went on. But
he legally couldn't do it in WCW for fear of a lawsuit.
Yeah. The Razor Ramon character was just incredible. I like the Diamond Stud character myself that he did with DDP.
Yeah. What was your opinion of Big Scott Hall from the AWA?
I didn't know enough about Big Scott Hall. Wasn't he Wolfman or Starship Wolf?
Well, he was in a tag team with Dan Spivey called American Starship back when he first broke in, and he was Starship Coyote.
That's when he had the chest hair and the big
and the
Tom Selleck mustache.
And then when he went to the AWA team with Hennig, he still had the mustache, and he was like the big jacked up bodybuilder type.
Yeah. Oh, I remember he was built. Dude was built.
Yeah.
A couple of the listeners here, Mindy Elam, welcome back to the show. She, her and Kyle Reed both talk about the 1-2-3 Kid match, which was another surprise.
Oh, that was awesome.
I remember.
You never saw the enhancement guys win on television.
No, and that was as a kid. Again, another one of those. So there's another Hall moment where fans are like, "Wow." Is it safe to say maybe Scott Hall is one of the greatest wrestlers to never hold a world heavyweight championship?
If Piper's number one, Hall I think is number two.
Why do you think Vince McMahon never put the world title on Scott Hall?
I think it's because they thought he was unreliable with his substance abuse issues.
I think so. I mean, he was great in the ring. I don't know, and I don't want anybody to get upset. I don't know if he was as good as Brett or Shawn from a technical standpoint. I think they were looking to get away from that big guy look because, again, Hall came in shortly after we just talked earlier, the steroid trial.
He came in a little bit before.
Well, okay.
He showed up in 92, but they hadn't really pushed him as a babyface until after the steroid trial.
But if you think about it, there was no big jacked muscle guys getting
Crush.
Crushing. Nobody's getting the title then. I mean, they put it on Nash eventually, but Nash wasn't even a big jacked. I mean, he was just big, tall.
Right.
Eventually, over time, Nash put muscle.
Yeah.
And
the thing to remember about Hall is, I mean, he would hang out with Nash and everything. He was 6'7", 290, I think. So he was a big bastard. But you put him in there with team up with Nash, and he seemed like a junior heavyweight.
Keith Gibson says,
I got to keep passing it.
we are passing a bottle around the table to get Duane situated here. Keith,
hey, this time it's not Terramana. Tonight it is John Rich's own Redneck Riviera whiskey, which is honestly the best tasting yet cheap whiskey I've ever had.
Every time Mark drinks this, he busts out into Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. I've heard it, so give us a couple more rounds, and then
can't afford the rights to it.
If I sing it, it's what do they call that? It's lampooning, it's cartooning, it's parody.
I thought you were going to say it was La Mandolin.
That's actually a good song, by the way.
Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy?
Yeah, that's a good song.
I will have to
Okay.
agree to disagree with you, sir.
We're going to have to hear Duane karaoke that one night.
Yeah.
So I don't know about all that.
So Narge, So we talked about favorite Scott Hall moments. What was your favorite Scott Hall feud that he was in?
I liked, to be honest, he's had so many. The one I enjoyed the most, I think, was the one between him and Larry Zbyszko.
Damn it, you took
Yeah,
mine.
I did. I enjoyed it. It was so great to see Larry get back in the ring.
Yeah.
And Scott made him look like $1 million. I mean, Larry was past his prime at that point, but that was one I remember quite a bit. I mean, everybody's going to say Shawn, and they're going to say, I mean, there were some good ones, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Zbyszko, that one was my favorite because that one went about a year before they even touched in the ring.
Well, it was, and Larry was just so great on the mic. He had the biggest issue with them, where Shivani and Heenan were scared, But
Yeah.
but Larry always
He was just annoyed.
Yeah, Larry was more annoyed than anything and was always quick to take shots at them. So you knew at some point it was going to happen.
I just remember him calling them the New World Odor.
The New World Order, yep. I got to meet Larry a few years ago at WrestleMania. We talked, WrestleMania 32, and Rachel was like, "Who's that old guy?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Rachel, come on." Because he's a legend. He was the living legend.
The Cigar Store Indian, as
Keith, what are you drinking on? Keith said Crown Peach and tea. We're kind of bouncing around here. I hate to say it, but in Scott Hall, we are having drinks for Scott Hall.
yeah.
I'm actually.
I don't
drinking
think that's in
tea.
bad taste. I think Scott Hall would, he'd say have another one. So yeah, one more for the good guys.
I thought it was bad guy.
It depended.
When he was doing the survey, it was the good guys
Yep.
in the NWO.
Have you ever seen Duane? I don't know if you ever seen this. Did you know that Scott Hall was in ECW for a minute?
No, I didn't know that.
He was. He came out to the Fugees.
Ready or not?
Ready or not, and the place went ballistic. Look it up. We'll have to put it on the page. Literally as a surprise, came out. I think he ended up working Just Incredible that night. It was because you can find the video. There's no commentary or anything.
It was a fan cam video, right?
I actually found Just Incredible posted an actual footage that they recorded. It was a dark match before either a pay-per-view or something. So there is a quality recording out there of him and Just Incredible, who were real life friends. Just Incredible was part of the
He was like quick associate
yeah. He was like yeah. click by association.
in his
That was
Aldo
it,
Montoya days.
I didn't even know who Scott Hall was until AEW. Not AEW.
What?
AWA.
You're getting all your vowels mixed up.
Did you
and
know
stuff.
Scott Hall killed a man once?
Didn't know that either.
Did you just stand there and watch him die?
I think it was self defense.
It was at a strip club. I think he was a bouncer. Got into some sort of a scuffle of some kind,
It was a kerfuffle of some
We had
sort.
we had one of those happen in Champaign about 20 years ago.
and he ended up shooting the guy. Either I think it was the guy's gun. If
Yeah,
I remember
got the
right.
gun away
He
from
got the
him.
gun away from him, and it ended up going off in the tussle and killed him.
And then I think, was it Mike Graham sent him away to get him out of Florida or something to get the heat off of him? And
Yeah. Keith says his favorite Scott Hall moment is the very first segment of Monday Night Raw with Vince McMahon, which is true. Scott Hall was the very first in-ring interview on Monday Night Raw.
yeah.
So,
One thing we were talking about before we went on the air, Narge, was Dark Side of the Ring. Have they gone into Scott Hall on Dark Side of the Ring?
no, I don't think they have.
That would make an interesting episode.
I'm sure it's coming, though. Yeah, with him being alive, they don't tend to touch on the folks that are still around too
Right.
much.
Except
So,
for Jake. I think Jake might
was
be the
one.
exception.
And it wasn't even him solo; it was his whole family.
Yeah.
So they went in with
Grizzly
Rockin'
and
Robin and Sam Houston. So
Sam Houston.
are we gonna throw the 10 bells up for
I
old
think
Scott?
we should. So, yeah, Marco, if you want to do the honors, we're going to salute the bad guy one more time.
Hey yo.
Oh, hang on a minute then. If we're going to do a salute, we got to do it the right way. Got to have the old whiskey ready to go. All right, here you go.
All right. Thanks for indulging us a little bit with our tribute. So we're going to move on to some stuff that happened over the weekend. In Narge, we had the Nwa Crockett Cup again on Saturday and Sunday, and I think we were both pleased with the outcome.
Yeah, it was a good show. I missed it Saturday. You watched it.
I watched both nights, yeah.
I got on Sunday just in time and watched pretty much the whole show. I love seeing the Briscoes out there. They're fun. I'm late to the Briscoe party, so to say. Yeah. GCW kind of got me into them. I know you've been a Briscoe guy for a while.
Oh, yeah, for a long time.
So, but no, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and along with the tournament, we got some good matches on night 2. We had the Crimson Jax Dane match and the little swerve at the end where Jax Dane walked away with the National Heavyweight Championship.
I think so. I can't keep all their titles straight, but they had a lot of belts defended.
I guess Jax had a title shot, and it's almost like a Money in the Bank in his pocket, and he lost his match to Crimson for the title, then beat the piss out of him, and then he grabbed the referee and said,
"There shall be no piss beating."
So he got another title shot right afterward and pinned him. You know?
I think it's the only match that I missed. I saw the beginning, and then my children were doing something. I got distracted. Right. So he lost and then got another shot.
Yeah, he just cashed in his title shot right after he put a pounding on Crimson.
Why has WWE never done that? That's a great idea.
I wonder if maybe at some point tonight we'll discuss better ideas for WWE.
Yeah. Speaking of which, this is the last time we get homework. By the way,
we really had to put some thought.
Hey, you know what? You want to keep it fresh and exciting. You want people to know that you're complaining about a bad thing that WWE does. I think it's only fair that you prove you can do better, and I think it'll be fun to hear.
All right. Well, we're not there yet.
Not yet. They're still writing notes.
Congratulations, also, Homicide, first junior heavyweight champion in the since they relaunched that title over the weekend.
That was a fun match. There's some good talent in there.
Oh man, it was Homicide, Colby, Carino, Austin Aries, and Darius Lockhart, who I'm not real familiar with.
I see him mentioned quite a bit on the internet, and I know a lot of the guys that we enjoy watching are fans of his. I know less about him than the other three.
Right.
So I know Colby and Aries there had a scary spot with Colby giving him the tombstone. Seemed to be all right.
Yeah. It looked like I told you, we were messaging back and forth. I thought he got his bell rung.
Yeah. And I think, and I'm not sure. I didn't see anything. I think he just did a good sell job. I know Colby was selling it on Twitter the next day. He said he was getting a lot of kudos for it because obviously a lot of folks.
Nobody likes Aries.
Nobody likes Austin Aries. He's part of that control your narrative.
He's a bit of a pariah in a lot of circles.
Weird group.
And still a hell of a worker, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's always been a hell of a hand. So he's one of those guys. He just keep your mouth shut. I don't know. I get it, but.
Sometimes the squeaky wheel is not the best idea.
No. And that's the thing, this control your narrative thing. I think a lot of these guys don't understand what they're doing. They're going to become unwanted in many circles, I think.
Yeah.
EC3 is, I don't know what's going on with him. He's kind
burning every bridge he can see, it seems like.
And Braun, I think Braun could have called Tony Khan up and said, this is what I want, pay me, and he'd have done it.
Right.
But instead, he's wrestling in a warehouse for 500 people. With some company that has the weirdest rules I've ever seen in my life, Yeah.
Hey, it looks like we may have a phone call, Marco. What do we got? Is that Kyle Reed?
We got Kyle Reed. Kyle, can you hear us okay?
The hell does he want?
Yeah, hey, fellas.
Hey, buddy, how's it going?
I think we had this guy on the show a couple weeks ago, didn't we?
Yeah?
Yep. How you doing, Kyle?
3 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago.
4 weeks,
Something like that.
Kyle's itching to get back.
Yeah, right.
He's been going to too many concerts lately.
He's our Dennis Stamp. He's like,
That's right.
Looking for a booking.
Here I am.
So what's on your mind, Kyle?
I was just going back to, I commented, but you didn't say anything about it, about Scott Hall.
He's feeling neglected.
Showed up at NWO.
I did see that, Kyle. Yeah, I'm sorry I missed over that. There's a lot going on there, but
it's fine. I was just going to try to touch on that real fast.
Yeah, go for it.
I was listening to an interview with Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, and they told how that all came about, and literally Eric Bischoff was the only one that knew that he was going to come down to the ring. Bischoff told people just to not mess with anybody that came into the ring. And then he walked out. So all of that was natural that was in the ring. They had no idea what was going on.
That's pretty, and that's the thing that wouldn't happen these days anymore. If, because all of a sudden everybody's got to know. It's almost like, well, the ref needs to know, the announcer, the security guard. I think that's great. If that's really what went down, and Bischoff said, "Hey, we got a surprise. You'll know what it is when it happens. Don't touch." That's fantastic. And I mean, that's one of those moments I'll never forget as long as I live as a wrestling fan. Seeing Scott Hall come out in his Canadian tuxedo. He had the denim on denim.
Yes.
No sleeves, though.
No sleeves, though.
Show the guns.
That's a
I was
South
just touching on
Canadian
that
tuxedo
because
then.
you said the referee's
Or we call it
reaction was
Detroit.
so good. But
They
was
were.
natural.
I think it was Pee Wee that was in the ring at that point. It was
Probably, yeah.
It was Pee Wee Anderson.
Mike Enos.
Mike Enos.
And I can't remember who he was wrestling.
I can't remember the other one because Mike Enos was kind of like, what the hell? Yeah, he had the chaps on.
Yeah, they just walked out of the ring.
Pee Wee did his cell with the hands.
Oh, Pee Wee.
Randy, don't call me Pee Wee Anderson.
That's right.
That's the one. Yeah, Duane. Those guys. I mean, WCW had a good referee crew back then.
They really did.
And I guess WWF at the time, right, is still WWF.
Yeah.
They started suing right away Scott Hall because he said, "Hey, yo," as his first thing. Using his Razor Ramon entrance, talking to people.
I know after that first couple weeks, they got a cease and desist on using the accent and all that kind of stuff. So,
Quick bit
Might as well
of,
taking the toothpick out of his mouth too.
right.
Quick bit of trivia. Anybody listening know the answer to this one? WWF was forced to change its name to WWE for a specific reason, and they did so. Who knows what the reason was? Who knows what the impetus was? Beside the people at this table.
Well, I know the answer, but I want somebody else to answer.
So do we. So we'll wait and we'll watch the stream there and see if anybody has the answer for us.
So talking about how Bischoff was the only one that knew about Hall, it kind of reminds me of when Hogan turned and joined the NWO because he had to actually stay at Kevin Sullivan's house to keep his hangers-on from convincing him to not do it, which is just tickles me because everybody thought he was going to ruin his career if he turned heel and joined the NWO. So they sent him to Kevin Sullivan's house to hide him from his lawyers and his friends and his family.
Boosted his career by a long shot.
Speaking of the NWO, who was actually the leader? Was it Hogan or Bischoff?
Hall. Okay, it wasn't Hall. But
It was Hogan.
Hogan was the face. I think Bischoff was the leader because storyline Bischoff was the vice president of WCW. Who started the NWO from like behind the scenes?
As usual, Mark's bias is showing. Hulk was clearly the muscle and the brains. Bischoff was just there as a figurehead, kind of like of our president currently.
You mean he was standing? He was standing in for Macho Man. You mean?
We have a standing rule: no politics, just wrestling.
Oh, I was trying to get Mark worked up.
Future T-shirt. Jumping the reel. We got some nifty T-shirt ideas coming to some point. We'll have to get those out there.
Mindy Elam guessed World Wildlife Foundation, which is close but no cigar.
Not quite.
Moving on.
All right. So, Kyle, I'm going to ask you, because we went around the horn here, what was your favorite feud that Scott had, either WWF or WCW?
My favorite feud was probably when his feud with Shawn Michaels, but my favorite of his is when he put over the 1-2-3 Kid. By far the best moment, I think, to booster the 1-2-3 Kid, Sean Waltman.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. Because that's what led to him being a babyface.
Yeah, they ended up teaming up together, and then kind of were working a thing with Ted DiBiase there for a while. So
DiBiase tried to get him to be his domestic and work for him.
Well, and another bit of trivia: Ted DiBiase's last in-ring competitor, I don't know if ever, but in WWE, WWF, was Razor Ramon.
It was in WWF because he went and teamed with Hansen for a bit in Japan before he got hurt.
Yeah. So
wait, Hansen wrestle?
Stan Hansen.
Oh, I was going to say, which one of them's the better wrestler?
Oh, the drummer.
They're going to bop you over the head.
Duane Hansen was a pop group from the 90s.
We know you don't understand this because it was after 91.
Dwayne skipped those and had 2 80s.
I know who Hansen is. Come on now.
For those that don't know, we like to mess with Dwayne. Dwayne's a great guy and a great sport, but yeah,
Dwayne, sing the chorus.
we're surprised he knows anything about wrestling after 92.
I know more than you do.
Everybody knows more than I do.
All right.
This is nice.
Kyle, did you get a chance to watch any of the NWA pay-per-view this weekend?
I wish I did, but I was so busy, it's ridiculous.
What did you do Friday?
Well, Friday I went and had a great time with you guys at the concert.
We dumb like that sometimes.
Yeah. We're actually
Yeah, I love that.
partaking in the bottle of whiskey that was
The
floating
road
around
soda.
on Friday, yeah.
By the
remaining
way,
road
I've
soda.
been passing off his music to everybody that I've talked to that knows likes country music.
Talking about John Wolf?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, give him a cheap plug on here, even though probably most of our listeners don't really know who he is. So
Well, that's why you give him a cheap plug.
That's
so they
right.
might hear him.
that's good
Right.
business.
John Wolf, Texas country, really good at it.
That's on his business card, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Well, actually, on his business card is probably his song, It Feels Good, Don't It? And his business card could be used for other people's industries, too.
Right.
It
That's
feels
what she
good.
said.
Isn't that Tony?
So, one thing we're going to get into, Kyle, is, I know you didn't watch the show, but I think you can throw in your opinion on this, is the main event of the
Oh, I'm
Crockett
sure I
Cup.
can.
Cardona and Aldis, Jeff Jarrett was the referee. There was a bit of dusty booking at the end, which, you can't have an NWA World Title match without a dusty finish on a pay-per-view.
When I told Rach, I said Jarrett's going to get involved somehow. I almost smelled a Jarrett heel turn because he's better as a heel.
I was hoping it wasn't going to happen. It was so predictable if he would have just kabonged Aldis.
And that's what I thought was coming, and maybe we'd get Jarrett and all this. Tim Storm was involved, and then so there's a lot going on
There's a lot
there.
of moving parts.
The ending, I was confused. I'm like, oh, DQ. And then I was like, oh, he's confused. He thinks one lady's
Right.
the other lady, like.
That made me wonder because in TNA when they had the NWA title, they had the rule where if the champion got DQ'd, he'd lose the title.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder if they're still using that rule now. I don't think they think that far back to do that, which is the only reason I can think that they would have DQ'd Aldis and not Cardona.
Right. Cardona's just so great. I think he's the best guy for the belt.
He's a heat machine.
Murdoch has no business having the title. I listened to his little promo beforehand and
A little salty.
move him down, get him with somebody else. There's some guys hanging around that company that I don't. Excuse me, him, the Pope. Yeah, a couple of drinks.
Tequila Nards.
You don't like the Pope?
There's whiskey
No.
nards tonight.
Whiskey Nards today.
The Pope. I don't care for him either.
Yeah, make sure you say it right. Da Pope.
Da
DA.
Pope. Cardona.
Is he a member of Da Bears?
No.
No, he's a member of being fired from WWE at one point.
I remember the
Remember
Pope when he
of
was in
Vatican
TNA.
City.
Yeah.
He started. He was in WWE with Sylvester Turkai.
Right. Elijah
was,
Burke.
Yeah, Elijah Burke.
Then,
The-
then
yeah.
he was in TNA, right?
Right.
As the Pope.
That's where he started the Pope gimmick. I forget
Was he
who.
D'Angelo
De Niro.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
They called him a street creature from Harlem, New York. At the
So he was
Teenage
literally
Society.
money.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I guess he copyrighted Da Pope as his name, and that's what he's been using since then. But
Obviously, so NWA, now we're working towards Aldis and Mickey against Chelsea, and that's the only thing I don't care for. It seems to be all these companies want Matt and Chelsea to team against their
power couple.
power couple. They did
Or
the
their bussy.
bussy and so I mean,
Bussy.
what's next?
That name's ridiculous.
When do they go over to Impact and do Canales and
And Bennett.
So
Yeah, that or Jordan and Gresham.
yeah, that's true. Overall, it was a good show, though.
Yeah.
I think we agree on one thing.
What's that?
Velvet Sky needs to leave the announce desk.
Yeah, God bless her. She's trying, but I think she's trying too hard to be David Crockett at this point.
My wife was watching. She has no idea who that is. I'm like, oh. So I explained a couple things to her. Number one, I said, well, that's Bully Ray's ex.
Yeah.
And then I explained, release the pigeons. So that was...
No, let the pigeons loose.
Whatever. I said, Taz used to really get excited about this. And Rachel was like, look at those trailer trash highlights in her hair. And she's like, why does she keep talking and interrupting those guys? I said, yes, Rachel, that's the problem.
Now, I'm trying to toe a neutral bent here because we actually have an announcement that we can make about a future show that we'll get to here in a bit.
Well, that's right. I'm going to blow it. That guy's going to be like, I'm not doing that.
So should I just announce it now?
You
since we're
might
about
as
the
well
Crockett Cup?
before I say too much.
All right. So we've already announced in April we got Ninja Mac and Gringo Loco coming in to talk with us, which we're very excited about.
Yes, they're two of my favorites right now.
And we're working on. We got confirmed a couple of guests for May. On May 3rd, we will have Joe Galley, who is actually the play-by-play voice of the NWA.
Who does a fantastic
Oh,
job
he's
with
great.
Tim Storm.
Yeah.
I got no problem with either
Great
of them.
San Antonio guy, go Spurs. And then I'm tickled about the other one. The next episode after, which is on the 17th, we have a professional wrestling legend, folk hero, you might say a myth. We got Barry Horowitz calling in.
Mark is patting himself on the back
I really
so
am.
hard right now.
Barry Horowitz.
Barry Horowitz.
I'll wear my
Holy
suspenders.
smokes.
Get the mullet puffed out. That's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to that
Barry
one.
Horowitz.
Barry Horowitz.
Who just main evented this weekend with Joey Janela on an independent in essentially a hardcore fight. I watched Barry throw Janela down about 20 steps on a gymnasium.
So Barry might be the most recognized name that we've had so far booked on this show.
I think so. I mean,
I
Fonzie's
don't know.
up
I
there.
think everybody knows Duane.
Barry Horowitz is bigger than Fonzie. Come on now.
Fonzie, yeah. I mean,
Well,
Fonzie's got a cult following.
ECW fans love Fonzie. We all love Fonzie. But Barry was in WWE. He was in WCW. He wrestled everybody.
He was everywhere.
I mean, he's maybe the king of the jobbers. King of the enhancement
King
talent.
of the enhancement talent.
I
Yeah,
was
let's,
thinking.
He's
King of
right
the
up there with
Jobbers.
Dwayne Gill.
let's not use the J word. I don't know if he's offended by
And the
that.
Brooklyn Brawler.
The Brawler, yeah.
Iron Mike
I appreciate
Sharp,
that, Keith.
Iron Mike.
Pistol Pez Watley,
Norman Smiley.
Norman Smiley was not an enhancement talent, Dwayne. Shame
The
on you.
Mulcahy's, right?
Mulkeys.
Mulkeys.
I think we found a button topic for Mark and
Norman
Dwayne.
Smiley, you put some
The
respect on
king of the
Norman
big
Smiley's
wiggle? Are
name.
you kidding? Don't make me stand up on this table and do the big wiggle right here. I'll do it. I used
That
to bust,
table will do the big crash.
I used to bust that out at weddings when I was in high school. My dad would be like, "Go up there and do that big wiggle thing," and he'd get a kick out of it.
Nice.
yeah,
and,
that was,
so
that
Mark-
was kind of funny.
Marco
actually.
probably is wondering. The big wiggle essentially looks like you're behind a lady and
I got you.
riding a yeah.
I'm going to see if I can find a video of it for
I
Marco's
got
edification.
it's up here. I've got it now, and nobody
You need me
online
to
can
stand up
see
and
it.
show you to.
No, we're good, man. Unless it's gonna be you and Dwayne, then I'm live
Dwayne
videoing
said
it
he's
and
going
posting
to
it.
show it. Yeah, Dwayne.
I'll have you guys on the live
I
feed
can
going.
show you if you want to know. I mean,
No, we're good, Dwayne. But thanks for the help.
We'll save that offer for a giveaway.
Yeah. Smacking that ass. I got it.
The great Norman Smiley.
But I think I told you when you told me. I think Barry Hort. That may be my favorite. That guy's got to have stories.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's been on the side of counting the lights, so he's working with the biggest names.
Right.
So he's going to come in here. He's going to tell us who some of the best were.
Yeah. Plus, the thing that I remember most about Barry is the feud he had with Candido.
Yeah, I
in
was
the
just about. We
mid-90s.
were talking about Candido earlier.
Yeah.
and
Yesterday, I think, would have been Candido's 50th birthday.
50th birthday. Yep.
so what promotion is he with now?
Just working the Indies, as far as I know.
Horowitz. Yeah, I don't even know how often he's working. Like I said, this Janela thing was with JCW. It was some random company, but
Well, Horowitz has been making the rounds, like on the cons and the signings and everything like that. And I just came across him on Facebook, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot. So I sent a message, and he got back to me pretty quick.
it's pretty incredible. And it really is. It's an awesome
It was a
grab.
slow Thursday.
Sunday.
Oh, it was a Sunday. Well, of course.
Speaking of guests, John Mayer, who listens to the show, listened to our last one with Sam Stackhouse, thought it was awesome.
Aren't you going to go see him in April?
I am gonna see. Yeah, the Body is a Wonderland fella.
That's the guy.
But the unboxing YouTube gentleman, Jonathan Mayer,
Friend of the show.
friend of the show, absolutely loved. We got to get him a shirt. He's a wrestling T-shirt guy. He wears them everywhere.
Yeah.
Like us. Look, outsiders. I got
Right,
the
right.
House of Black on.
Right. Dwayne with his nifty button-down church shirt.
Look like
me with,
Harvey Whippleman.
I am Captain
If
America.
anybody asks, that is a Del Wilkes, the Patriot shirt.
That's it. Keith has a couple interesting things. Number one, he says,
That's new. No.
can you imagine the hits on social media with Narge doing the big wiggle? So I just came up with a better idea.
I'm gonna.
I want everybody that follows us, listens to us, and all that, come to our Facebook page, put a little 10-second TikTok-y thing of yourselves up doing the big wiggle.
We're gonna have a big wiggle.
We'll have a little
contest.
contest. But Narge and Mark also have to do it because they are actually familiar with it. And they ought to be allowed to do, you guys.
Well,
and
I'll
if
do.
they do better than y'all, nobody gets a prize.
Hey, all I know is I'll do the big
We'll
wiggle.
let Duane judge.
Oh, hey, by the way, you said prize. We can finally get some business taken care of here.
Oh, yes, we can. All right. And while you're pulling out the goodies to let Duane have at them, Keith also wants to know that The Godfather will be at Bricks and Ivy Sports on
Yes.
April 17th.
Yep, they got announced earlier this week.
Hoopstown, Illinois, home of the corn jerkers.
They've been. I'll tell you what. The Uber bills from Willard Airport to Hoopston have been pretty heavy lately.
They
with all the
announced
people they got coming in.
Godfather, and then for another Ari Lyman, who was the original Jason, jumped out of the lake at the end of the original Friday the 13th.
I got a signed mask from him.
Yeah.
All right, so Duane, because you got a trivia question right 4 months ago,
It was the one with Fonzie.
It was during the
So
COVID. It was
you have won an
Fonzie.
autograph.
You
Bill
beat me
Al-
by
Fonzie. Yep. There's your whistle, brother.
You've got an autographed Bill Alfonso whistle.
That's when
I
we were
suggest-
JTRF. Now we're JTRE.
But
so-
don't open that because, it's worth something. But also, we promised you this, a Jumping the Rail koozie. I got another one two-sided. It says support
Look
pro
at that.
wrestling on one
You
side.
can put all your favorite cold drinks in there at your favorite local bar, except for that one bar we don't talk
at every
about.
Hairbangers Ball show you go to.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Speaking of Hairbangers Ball, they're going to be in Bloomington, Illinois, April 8th, and I'll be there.
Well, at least we all know where we won't be. Dun, 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 dun. April 8th, we actually don't have plans yet, do we?
I don't know.
We could probably figure something
I don't know.
I think I'm working that weekend.
April 2nd may get us all the way to April 8th on the same drunken night.
That's true. Keith needs a Jumping the Rail shirt, and I am going to see Keith this next week, I think. So.
Nice.
If you know what, Keith, I have one set aside for you because you were generous and gave us some Clubhouse Lounge
Clubhouse
merch.
Lounge stuff, which is great.
So I got a goodie bag for you soon. If Narge can get to my place sometime this week,
Well, we might be able to hold it. Keith would like to come in the studio next show, and I'm pretty sure we have a guest.
that'll be the Ninja Mac episode.
Ninja Mac.
That'd be great.
Keith, that'd be a blast.
That'd be great. Yes, your birthday is April 8th, Keith, but we'll still be drunk from Narge's birthday, April 2nd.
Right.
I want to touch on this big wiggle thing again.
Don't say touch and big wiggle in the same sentence.
Because
Just don't touch the big wiggle.
If Tony Storm can do it, then I can do it. So I think about starting an OnlyFans. I'm pretty sure Tony made about $20,000 yesterday on her debut.
Right.
So Marco, Tony Storm, I'll show her to you here in a minute.
Yep.
Oh, it's a she.
It's a she. She left WWE, was released. Gorgeous. Well, asked for her release.
Yep.
Started OnlyFans, $20 a person. About an hour in, had made $10,000.
Whoa.
I've seen pictures on the Twitter,
Yeah.
which you're not supposed to share from people's OnlyFans, but I saw it.
You're also not supposed to have those pictures on Twitter.
Well, there's a lot on Twitter you ain't supposed to have. But
Right.
she's not showing anything you can't see on, a Google search.
Right
so
on,
she's making
right on.
$20,000 off not much, but I am a huge Tony. My wife's listening, but I'm a huge Tony Storm fan. She knows. That's Mike's lady. I'm gonna show you a picture here. Mindy Elam wants to know where her shirt's at.
Yep. I just replied on there, Mindy. I ordered the necessary shipping materials over the weekend, and they got arrived today. So I'll get all that stuff packed up, and we'll shoot it on the in the
She
Federal
looks
Express.
like she fell right out of a 1988 fucking video, man. Nice.
Oh yeah, well, and she goes for the. She got kind of the rocker.
Oh, the rocker with the tomboy look. Nice.
So eventually, I'm gonna have. I told Narge the next Narge-tastic Voyage video, we need to have Kyler sporting the Jumping the Rail T-shirt, and then we'll put it out there. If you want one, then
That's why I enjoy her, Mark.
hit us up on the Messenger or on the Facebook page or something with your size, and we'll work out payment info and all that stuff. And
Your size of shirt, folks.
shirt size, yes.
Shirt size. Come on, Mark.
It's
I have people on here.
yeah. I mean, it's not going to be expensive like it is on Pro Wrestling Tees, where they charge like $25. So we'll
Wait a minute. What? It's not? I thought they were going to be $50.
no, 15.
If we autograph them, they're 50.
Shit, I
If
misheard
they're autographed,
him.
they're 50. If Duane autographs it, 120.
I missed it, man. I put $50 everywhere. There's posters. I mean,
No, I mean,
Mindy Elam wants a Tequila Nard shirt. That's about the 20th.
oh, no,
person I-
we've
we are
gotten-
in
we've
the
gotten,
development phase. We're working on. I think
right
we got a
photo.
winning logo.
pre-press. Yeah, we have a pre-press picture we like, but we need to turn it into a high-res version, which we will.
Yeah.
Keith Gibson says he loves talking about size and big wiggles. Oh, wait a minute. No, he says he loves that the show is talking about size and big wiggles. I thought it was you, Keith.
My brother's going to pop when he hears us talk about Norman Smiley, which is good because he got mad at us last time.
I didn't want to talk about
I'm sorry,
your
mad
brother.
at you.
I want to talk about your brother. I almost wore my Vader shirt today out of spite.
You know, my brother hasn't been that mad at me since the time I accidentally left a Meatloaf CD in his car.
You know what this is all about?
He doesn't like meatloaf?
Oh, no.
You know what this is all about?
Now, hang on a minute. I used to respect your brother.
He has
Now, I can understand not liking the last Meatloaf album because that was garbage. But
Meatloaf-
before that, legendary.
Yeah, meatloaf is a true legend in the music business.
This really,
You don't have to sell me on Meatloaf.
this really revolves around the fact that Vader was on Boy Meets World, and your brother has a huge issue with that
Keith
show.
said it's refill time. Hang on, I got to refill my liver.
Doesn't he, Mark?
What?
Boy Meets World.
Oh,
Brother
he was
hates
on-
it. He hates it.
No, he's a big fan of Boy Meets World.
He hates it.
That had Topanga, man.
Topanga was my high school
She
hall
was
pass.
a very, very cute girl.
You want to bang a Topanga.
Hey,
Dwayne's awake. Take the bottle away from him. And actually,
he's had
have another
too
drink,
much.
Dwayne. Start feeling your freedom, man.
No, we appreciate that. John had a good opinion, and he thought that Andre should have been 3-1 on the heavyweight.
He sent a very detailed email to our Jumping the Rail email account.
I stand by my.
It was TLDR for me.
Too long to read?
Too long, didn't read.
I still stand by my original statement, and I agree with John's wonderful, intelligent brother who put Vader at number 1. It may be the only time I agree with him.
I'm wonderful and intelligent now, but when I say Macho Man was wronged by Hulk Hogan,
I'm out of here.
But hang on a minute. I do want to know, what does John think? Hulk Hogan or Macho Man?
Oh, he agrees with me.
Okay, he's totally wrong.
Delusional. That's the word I
Delusional.
used.
Now
Apparently was
I
offended
asked
by
him
that.
about this. He loves Hulk Hogan, but yeah, he says he did Macho dirty.
So, unlike you, he actually at least loves or respects Hogan. He just thinks Hogan did wrong. You just don't like Hogan.
I'm not a fan of Hogan's work. I never met the man. I'm told he's a nice
I'm
guy.
going to tell you right now, the best work he ever did was, her name was Brooke.
Let me tell you something, brother.
Is that Bubba's wife? Bubba Loves Sponge?
Bubba loves Sponge. Hogan's on his third ex-wife right now.
Yeah.
I bet he's been on a lot of more ex-wives than that.
Well, yeah. Hey, Hulkamania ran wild.
Oh, I know.
Literally.
Hey,
In the ring
Thunder
and in
Lips
the
the
bedroom.
Magnificent.
Is my iPad muted, Marco? I was going for a rim shot there.
It is. It is.
I was a huge
Now,
Hulkamaniac.
I need you to repeat that
Right.
word, Mark, because I want you to understand it's a
That's why
rim
Dwayne's on the
shot.
show. He gets it.
Not a
shot.
rim job. Okay, hang on a
I
second.
thought that's what he said.
Go ahead, try it now.
You're going to get Keith excited.
There you go.
Big wiggles, rim shots.
Keith's
Size.
off getting more to drink.
Keith, bring me a beer, too. I need one.
Oh, we're running low on the
I'll have to send Mark out.
cerveza.
I drank all of this.
Listen to that. That's a wild sour.
Hey,
Is that a
in,
Riggs?
in honor of next Saturday's WrestleMania
Riggs or
main
Triptych?
event, it's a Distill Wild
Distill,
Sour.
nah.
But in honor of the man who's coming back, I'm going to mop the floor with Kevin Owens.
You know what? We need to do that. We need to talk to Travis Quigg, who basically is Riggs Beer's like lone spokesman in the entire planet.
Get a sponsorship?
We should get some Riggs Beers in here to drink one night.
And we'll talk about
Brings-
Riggs beers.
Riggs
We'll talk about
Beers.
Scotty Riggs.
Scotty Riggs.
What about John Riggs? He was a running back for the Washington Redskins.
Riggins.
That's Riggins.
Oh, that was Riggins.
Riggins.
Oh, sorry, I was so close.
We know shit about
Bobby
the
Riggs
Reds.
was the tennis player.
That's him. Yep, I remember him.
Bobby Riggs. He had a match with
Billie Jean King. Yep.
Yep. Did he win or lose that one?
He got
He lost.
thumped in that one.
That's what I thought.
lost.
Yeah.
What
He
about
got
Big
Billie
Rig?
Jean.
Big Rig.
It was billed
Yeah.
as the Battle of the Sexes.
Yep. And it was not sexy.
Here come Dwayne
They
with
were
his
two ugly
knowledge
people.
from pre-1991 knowledge. Dwayne has it
That was
all.
pre-1981, so he gets
It
some
was.
points.
It was.
It's before I was born, Dwayne.
Me too. Because we're young studs right now.
That's right. We're in a prime of our life.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well,
Dwayne,
and-
that bottle's not going to drink itself.
We have jumped the rail again.
Indeed. So I suppose it's the right time we should get into our homework. Make
Do we
Marco
want to do
happy.
that, or do we want to do our break first and then
Let's
do
do,
the
our
homework
let's
all
do a
the
short
way?
break.
All righty.
Give me a chance to drain the lizard, and then
Hey,
we'll get to
We're
it.
going to give you guys about 5 minutes of music while we take a break.
Go
and when we
check
come
out that
back.
Tony Storm OnlyFans. Let me know what it's like. My wife won't let me subscribe. Just tell me how it is.
All right.
Real quick, come back.
And if anybody here has a free OnlyFans subscription with their name and password, email it to Narge. She'll never know who
Tony
Baby
Storm.
Lover 34 is.
All right, we are back. Episode 17 continues after the break here. We got Duane sitting with us, behaving himself generally right now. He got his prizes, and I hope he's got his notes, because Marco, it's time to put our money where our mouth is, as you.
That's right. So, as everybody that listens here knows. Oh shit, Mark! Damn.
The cap is on. No,
was on. That was the problem.
the whiskey was not hurt when
was not
Marco
injured.
fumbled. Why?
hurt
I think
like
you
hell.
play for the Cowboys while you're fumbling.
Yeah.
Hey,
I was
now.
reenacting a Tony Romo placehold. Okay.
I heard the first time he tried to
Fumble
throw it
liar.
to Aaron Andrews, it got intercepted.
And by a ref. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. All right. So
So I think our guest should go first, Marco.
I we'll get there. Yeah. So just to get everybody caught up, because we might have a new listener one day. So a couple weeks ago, about a month ago, actually, I issued a challenge, because one thing that I hear all the time, and me being the guy that doesn't know shit about this, thought, wait a minute, this seems to be a recurring theme. Narge has been disappointed in the WWE in general because of bad storylines, bad creative, I think is the correct wording.
I think lackluster is a better term.
It's just, he's like, yeah, this is kind of fucking predictable and boring.
Keith Gibson would like the Zoom info one more time. I think he
Tell
wants
him,
to jump in.
Tell him the Zoom link's there. All he has to do. Tell him scroll up there, Keith. Just scroll up. It's up there.
Scroll up.
It's in the chat. Just scroll up. Anyways, and then Mark, I think, has tended to agree that they have been a little weak. I wouldn't say he's, as unhappy with it as Narge. Narge has almost jumped over to AEW because of how bad he feels.
I'm more
it is.
used to the philosophy that they use, even though I don't agree with it.
Okay, all right. And Duane is just here. So anyways, about a month ago, I issued a challenge to these guys. Then we picked Duane up and said, you know what, you can come in too. And if anybody's calling in tonight and wants to call in on the Zoom, which we did post, feel free to. I'll unmute you when it's your turn type of thing. But we want to hear your version of a good, or what you consider would be a great storyline for the WWE. We don't expect you to do an entire 6-month promotion, every wrestler. Come up with something that you think would make people want to watch again, because people are not watching as much as they should. And I think Mark was correct in this. I think Duane, we'd like to hear from you. You first, sir. Pull that mic up and give us your best Little Red Riding Hood.
Well, like I said earlier, I've been kind of bouncing back and forth on what I was going to say. And then I finally settled on something. Triple H, he's been out of action for quite a while. Not because of an injury or anything per se, but, he's just been working behind the scenes with NXT. And it came to light a few months ago about his health, having heart problems and whatnot. And I'm thinking, there should be a way we can get Triple H back in the ring. And so I came up with an idea. I figure we could have Triple H come out on a Monday Night Raw and talk about, about how the doctors are saying he may or may not be able to wrestle again and whatnot. And, thanking the fans for all their support and whatnot. And then telling everybody he thinks he's got one more run left in him. While he's doing that, Seth Rollins comes out and he's telling Triple H, you think you got one more run left in you? And, telling Triple H, they say you used to be king of the kings, and I think you're nothing but a king of the has-beens, so to speak. And they banter back and forth, and then they have this major brawl, and then it gets broken up. And then, like, the following week, have Triple H challenge Seth Rollins to a match at the next pay-per-view. And then after that, have Seth Rollins accept it, but puts this condition on it. It's his last match if he loses. Like, have his career on the line.
Seth's career would be on the line, or Triple H's?
Triple H.
Now Triple H was like some part of management, wasn't he? Is that right? Am I right?
He's banging the boss's daughter.
Actually,
Okay.
he's married to the boss's daughter.
Sorry.
Well, then he stopped banging her. But
That's true.
that said,
They've had their two kids. They've reached
but
their
that
quota.
said,
Yeah.
is he still in charge of something, or is that the thing that disappeared or got really weirded out
He's
recently?
kind of. I don't think he's doing much, mainly because he had his heart surgery and everything.
And he's kind of been phased out.
He's been
of a
phased out of the
decision-making
NXT
role.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead.
So, like I said, he challenges Seth Rollins to a match, and he puts Seth Rollins accepts it, but he wants Triple H to put his career on the line. And so, after that, Triple H says he'll do that. And then, next thing you know, Triple H says, "I didn't tell you what kind of match. Hell in a Cell."
For people like me, what the fuck does that mean?
Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell is a match where the structure is completely around the ring.
A steel cage.
Big
Yeah,
cage.
a steel cage.
Big cage.
But there's a top on it.
Cage with a roof.
Okay.
That's all
Yeah.
you need to know.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So there's not like
That's
not
kind
like
of the
flames.
ultimate. That's kind of the ultimate end all for
But if
feuds
it's
in
going to
WWE.
be hell in a cell, fucking, let's go pyro, let's go Garth Brooks and Kiss, and put some fucking flames around the whole thing too.
They've
That
done
way,
that.
when they're on the edge and they hit the cage, it's hot as fuck and they
that's
get
a-
melted. And they get,
I tried to do
they
that
get,
in my
you know-
backyard wrestling company years ago when I started. I wanted to dig a hole and light a ring of fire around
Is that
it.
your house?
No, this was my house. This was in Georgetown,
His
Illinois,
mama's
so,
house.
So basically, I'm just thinking this would be a way for Triple H, his career to kind of wind down, and you know what I'm saying.
Okay, all right. What you guys think of that one? Critique, go.
I don't think it's terrible, Duane, and I'm going to elaborate on it a little bit because I'm going to go next. Kyle Reed thinks it sounds a little too familiar. I go ahead.
It probably
'cause
happened in
I'm
like
gonna go next.
1994.
You say what you need to say, and then I will piggyback because I want to go next. And some of what I have to say does agree with Duane a little bit.
It's a solid idea. My only issue with it is Triple H has done the career on the line thing a few times already with like Batista at Mania a couple years ago. I mean, if you give me a healthy Triple H against a healthy Seth Rollins in a Hell in a Cell, I'm in. I mean, it'd be great. So, like I said, the only real roadblock is obviously Triple H's health, whether he would actually be able to get back in the ring again. But pie in the sky, if everybody's healthy and everything's good, yeah, it's a winner. I think.
All right, I've got both Keith and Menders here. First, I'll introduce Keith.
Yeah, but let me
Hey,
go
Keith,
next.
you there?
Hey, yo.
Hey, what's up, brother?
How are you guys? Good?
Survey
We're good.
said.
We're good. All right.
I forgot to hey yo the start of the show.
We're bringing
I'm
you
kicking
guys in real quick. We're gonna let Narge go next, but I want to bring in Menders next. Menders, you there for me? Menders,
Unmute her.
she is unmuted.
Earth Demenders.
Menders,
She's making an entrance.
Menders.
turn off the vibrator. Turn on the mic. Let's hear you.
Turn up the volume.
Oh, you want to hear the vibrator?
Oh,
Is that what it is?
no.
Oh.
My wife's listening. All right. Well, we're trying to bring them
All
on.
right,
I'm
Narge,
going.
bring it, Narge, go.
All right. So mine is not so much a storyline as it is an overall improvement process. Number one, we eliminate SmackDown and Raw. You have one company. Just one roster.
You're talking
So you're-
big moves.
So you're limiting the brand extension, not the shows.
No. Well, we can still have two shows. That's fine. Brand extension ends.
No more major league, minor league bullshit.
Cut the fat out as long as there's not too much. I actually think you end NXT as well. You end NXT, get rid of it.
Is that also a WWE property then?
It's kind of the lower. It's the
the
feeder
developmental.
system.
So you have the main one, then you have the secondary, now you have the tertiary.
Well, Raw and SmackDown are kind
Raw
of
and SmackDown are
like
even.
side by side.
Yeah, they're A, B.
They're the same. level.
okay.
But they act as two companies with separate titles and separate.
Right.
Get rid of all that. Go back to the original.
go
formula.
unified.
Yeah, go back to the original formula.
I actually agree with that.
Cut the rosters. Get rid of
Right.
NXT. Bring up the guys on NXT that you see the most in. If there are more of them than some of the talent, guys like R-Truth, guys like Dolph Ziggler, I'd be okay with cutting them. To be honest with you.
Ooh, nice.
A grittier presentation. It needs to go back to kind of Raw as Warzone. Less CGI birds coming out of dudes' feet. Less big fake bullshit on the screen.
Oh, you don't like the graphics?
No.
Are we
Garbage.
going for light tubes and blood?
Nope.
Not there. Okay. Not
But
there.
yes, allow blood when it matters. So Dwayne's idea of a Hell in the Cell. That's a match where both those guys should be bleeding all over the place like crazy.
I agree.
Third agreement.
My main idea here is ultimately the fans need to think that Vince McMahon is done. He is done. You bring in Triple H as literally the figurehead, not just on TV. The internet, the journalists, you convince them that Hunter is making every single decision. I think that alone, people are going to be like, I'm going to give it more of a chance now. Vince says, it comes out, press release, I'm retired. Whether he does or not, he won't retire till he dies. No. But you put out this press release, Vince McMahon, I'm too old, my health's declining, yada, yada, yada. I am going to allow Hunter to take over the day-to-day creative.
It ain't Hunter Biden.
No.
Okay,
Hunter
just checking.
Just checking. Interrupting me. Shut up. So I mean, overall, what you would essentially do is take it back to the Attitude Era with a different figurehead. It's not Vince anymore. Now it's Hunter, who maybe can't get as physical. Hunter can still cut a promo better than anybody in the company. Hell, if it's not Hunter, at what point do you move Randy Orton over into a role like that? Randy's still great in the ring, but one of the best minds, one of the best on the mic. That's my whole idea. It's not a storyline, but it's just a grittier presentation. You eliminate all the extra fluff. You get rid of the CGI. It's not Disney. I don't need to see Buzz and Woody out there. I want to see...
That's no way to talk about RK Bro.
Yeah, I'd rather see Riddle and Orton beating the snot out of each other. And, you know, those are two guys. Put them in a cell at some point. That's what I do. I shake the whole thing up. And this sounds very WCW, we're going to restart new, but you do it the right way. You literally erase the board, pull all the titles off everybody, and start fresh. Hell, hold a tournament like WrestleMania 4 and put a belt on a guy you don't expect. Put the belt on Riddle. Put the belt on, I don't know.
Reggie.
No, not Reggie. Stop. Ciampa. Ciampa's smaller than the other guys, but is he that gritty guy? Is he that Daniel Bryan that could get in there? I would tune in more. There's more of that. Again, the blood aspect is a big deal to me.
Right.
I know they think AEW overuses it.
I don't agree with that.
And I don't agree with that. I think the last pay-per-view, they had a perfect amount. We knew going in that Punk and MJF were going to bleed.
Oh, yeah.
And we knew Bryan and Moxley were going to bleed.
Yeah, the matches that needed the blood had the blood.
Hangman and Page didn't bleed. They had a hell of a match, though.
Mm-hmm.
They literally had the best possible match they could have following matches that were just awesome.
Right.
So
if they would have started with Kingston and Jericho bleeding buckets first, then I might put some credence to that.
For me, I think the biggest thing with WWE is it's similar. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. Dwayne's a Cowboys fan. Mark's a Cowboys fan.
I'm sorry.
The second we think Jerry Jones isn't in charge anymore, we're excited. We're hopeful. We're like, oh my God, like new blood is in the.
Something's about to change.
There's new
maybe,
blood in the water.
Yeah.
And I think that's what WWE needs. They need the older fans to think, all right, the old man's out. Now there could be something new coming. That's it for me. That's it.
I don't want to.
Go ahead.
Cut you off there, buddy. But I agree with you 100%. And I think your statement on just a press release of the vision of Vince being out of there is a game changer in itself. The vision of everybody saying, okay, it's Triple H's now. Look what he did in NXT. You know how he changed it, how he made that bigger. I think that's great. I think you're right on every single point there. Except for maybe.
Oh, there's a butt.
There is a butt.
It's always a big butt.
It's always a butt. Is there a
Can't do a big
wiggle involved
without a
too?
No. The only thing I would say is the blood. I said it only has to be used when necessary, and I think you guys put that right on the point of AEW did it well at their last pay-per-view. Those two matches, the dog collar match, had to have blood. Otherwise, it's just a joke.
No, and I agree, Keith. It has to be necessary. You can't have a whole pay-per-view called Hell in the Cell and nobody bleeds at all.
Well, you can't have a pay-per-view called Hell in the Cell and have no matches in the cell. Or just one.
And I wanted to elaborate on one more thing, my thought process. Think back to about maybe 2 years ago when we were told Paul Heyman was taking over one side of creative and Eric Bischoff was taking over the other.
It lasted a month.
We were excited.
It lasted a month, and people were like, oh my God, these two minds, these two innovative people are going to do, and it didn't do shit. I mean, it didn't do it. Bischoff was let go. Heyman's, back to Lesnar's
So let me ask this, though. You say that, it lasted a month. All right. Now, something I know from the business of trying to get bands, bars, get things happening, okay, it takes 3 to 6 months of consistent change to
Vince-
get people to buy in. If they think you're just going to change a month from, they're like, fuck this shit. Why am I sticking
And again,
around?
the problem right there, Vince McMahon.
Okay.
One week he says, this is a great idea. We're going to let these guys come up with ideas.
Right.
And then 2 weeks later, he's like, nah, this is kind of shit, and I'm back in charge again because I own the company.
So that's my
He's
question,
the
though,
ultimate
is-
problem, is Vince McMahon.
But my question is to you guys that were viewing it and watching it happen in real time, okay? When that month ended and all of a sudden they were to the curb, it was done. Was that the correct decision, or were they actually starting to create what you wanted to create and getting fucked?
I thought SmackDown was on the right path, right?
Yeah.
Like
I did too. I think
was,
they were pushing the right stars and Aleister Black and those guys and pushing some different
So
guys.
this was legitimately a Vince McMahon fuck up, as opposed to he gave them some creative time and they didn't use it wisely, and the fans weren't happy. The fans were actually like, "Holy fuck, this is working."
people like us were agreeing. I mean, they were
Okay.
literally pushing folks that we had wanted them to push for months. But Vince didn't see it that way. Vince is like, I don't see money in him. And that's why Aleister Black is now Malachi Black. He's on AEW. That's why a lot of these guys that you saw in WWE are gone. Because Vince loses interest in them. He's like,
Vince McMahon's fatal flaw is he can't stay out of his own way.
I think he's
he's
attention
like
deficit
he's a guy. He's
disorder.
got a squirrel thing. He's like shiny pretty goat.
He's ADD.
And he doesn't listen to the fans. I mean,
He says he does, but he doesn't.
Exactly.
He listens, but that doesn't mean he's going to do what they want him to
he
do.
listens, and then he says, "Screw it." He's
No.
going to do what he
He
wants to do.
hears the fans talking. He doesn't listen to what they're saying.
Yeah.
Well
That's
accurate.
what- I'll go with that.
Does
that,
anybody
Keith?
remember the promo where the whole family came out to the ring and said, we're going to listen to you, the fans, and give you everything you want
Exactly.
and do shit?
Exactly.
So,
Well, I mean,
sorry,
somebody
Keith,
did ask for
but
cheaper popcorn.
I
think.
appreciate you backing me, Keith. What was your butt? Just
Yes.
I didn't want blood
Show
every
him your
match.
butt,
Let's hear
Keith.
about your butt, Keith.
Well, it's hairy. No, my butt is.
I didn't name mine.
And I hope you don't have
The one thing that I
hemorrhoids.
think should happen is not necessarily a brand split. I don't know if that's. I see where you're going with that, and I like it.
No.
But have it more competitive, where maybe just one world champ.
That's
but
what
you
I'm
still
saying.
Got that brand split, so more guys get time on shows. Because I think if you have put everybody together, you're going to see the storylines go with the same thing over and over and over again on both shows, instead of being able for more guys to get TV time and build more stories.
My only thought behind that was the original thought of they got to cut some of the fat, though. If you think back to the 90s, Keith, we only had one brand, and that was it. And those guys still they featured the main guy. That's the problem is, even AEW has this problem. The rosters are bloated. All of a sudden, it's all these talented guys. We need to bring them all in. No, you do not. Somebody like R-Truth, Reggie, Tozawa. I'd drop them all tomorrow. Dolph Ziggler is somebody I'd
keep
get rid
Truth.
of.
Truth stays if it's me.
Old guys out.
Nah, he's too popular with the fans.
Truth and Ziggler are my top of my list. Gone.
Really?
Yep.
Ziggler is the champion right now.
Gone. Ziggler has had the same old shtick for years. You know who had pushed to the main right now?
Who's that? Don't say Braun Breaker.
The Miz. Miz he deserves another run at the
deserves-
top. I think the fans.
I
He
do
did
agree with
dance
that.
with the stars.
Honestly, I think the Miz and I think Matt Riddle. The fans love Riddle.
The Miz has earned it without a doubt.
I agree with the Miz. I don't agree with Riddle necessarily.
When it comes to
But
the
you've
Miz,
never been a Riddle fan.
When it comes to the
I'm
Miz,
lukewarm on Riddle.
when it comes to the Miz, I tolerate him more than I used to.
His reality show helped with that, didn't it?
Exactly.
Not his busty
Dwayne
wife.
likes reality
His busty
shows.
wife helps. Maurice has grown on me.
I'm gonna throw this. I think George helps. The Miz's dad.
Oh, that is untapped talent that they haven't used correctly.
I've watched some AIW shows out of Ohio. He's there. He's
Yeah.
in the front row there.
Nice.
He's always over there. showing and-
That's a guy that they have not used correctly out of everybody's dad. They had Cena's dad years ago. Yeah,
Awful.
he was nowhere near as good as George. George Mazan and his money.
Hey, real quick, we tried to do this earlier. Technical difficulties prevented her from joining us, but we'd like to welcome Menders. Hey, Menders, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, and thank you for being so patient. I know we've been going for a bit and want to get you back in, but how you doing?
Oh, pretty good. Just laughing at you guys.
Just laughing at us. Well, that's
Yeah.
good. Could you laugh with us once in a while, too?
You'd laugh harder if you could see
No,
us.
that's no fun.
Hey, Menders, how you doing?
I'm all right.
You know Dwayne, don't you?
Yeah, I've met him.
There's
a couple
no
times.
way not to know Duane if you've been into the bars in Champaign-Urbana ever.
If
when
Duane-
a band playing music older than 1992 exists.
If Duane was a wrestler, his nickname would be the Acquired Taste, Duane Carter.
Hold on. I do not know
acquired
Duane
taste.
Carter.
Oh, I guess, Keith, you're going to need to meet the Duane Carter.
Actually, my name would be Insane Duane Carter.
I thought it was the speed bump.
It is Speed Bump, actually. His nickname is actually Speed Bump. There's multiple reasons we call him that, mainly because he can sometimes slow down an idea.
Yeah, we can thank Joe Lamondola for coming up with that one.
No, that was me.
Oh, that was
me.
you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you going to give him credit where I'm due? Fuck you.
I thought it was Joe that came up with that.
No,
Duane-
no.
Duane-
He probably the first one that told you that.
Dwayne, you better watch your P's and Q's. You're currently in competition for Guest of the Year, which is a new award we'll be giving out at the end of the year.
That's
right
right.
now, you're slightly above
Behind
Joe,
me.
Yes.
but right under Kyler. Keith, you haven't been in the studio yet. You don't count.
Yeah, you got to be in studio to be eligible.
Right now,
In-studio guest of the year versus not in-studio guest
So
of the year.
far, Gary
And then, of
Roselio
course,
is in the
interview of
lead.
year. Right.
Oh, yeah,
Gary
Kyler's
did
got
a good
something.
job. He
Kyler's
did,
got
but
something to
Kyler,
say.
but Kyler can be here every week and like jump his votes.
Yep.
All right, so Mark, do you want to go next, or would you like me to give my wildest, weirdest
I would
idea?
love to hear this.
I think we got to hear you.
All right, then hang on a minute. I need a little more whiskey. I'm kind of bashful.
So, while Marco's taking the plug off of his John Rich whiskey, is Kyler going to want to be here for Ninja Mac?
He might, but no, we're gonna have Keith for Ninja.
We'll have Keith for Ninja Mac.
No, that's all right. I can come on later.
Well, I'll say we can get Kyler for Gringo Loco.
Yeah.
We could, to be quite honest,
You know
we
what?
could put
I'll
Keith
come in
my
for Norman
seat and
Smiley.
Put Kyler in that seat.
We don't
I'm
have
good
Norman
with it.
Smiley.
I don't have.
We were
a,
just going on about the big wiggle.
We-
You
I
want-
mean Barry Horowitz. My
you want
bad.
Barry Horowitz?
wiggle.
We can make it work.
We will reserve Keith Gibson for Barry Horowitz on
Yes.
May 17th.
Yes.
Oh,
When do I
as
get to
long
come
as
on the
Keith,
show?
What's that?
When do I get to come on the show?
you're on right now.
Menders, you can come anytime you want to, baby. You first, lady.
When we get Camaro Jackson on, you can come in the studio.
No, we'll
right.
get,
Now,
I'll
she
be
comes
there.
in the studio, got to hire a maid.
we'll get you on this summer.
got
for
Dallas.
sure.
You guys are.
I know
right.
Kyle.
I'm going to need a
Reed's
fucking
back
wet
on.
dry map, wet dry vac when she comes
This
in.
this is the hot seat
What?
right here.
You're not right, Marco.
I am far from right.
He's left.
Random idea. I think a trivia contest one night to get a guest. I think we do the trivia and that
That would be an interesting
That's not a bad
concept.
idea.
we give
But we
away
have to
the
come up
seat.
with some shit that like only one guy in Zimbabwe knows the answer to.
Who,
and then
Mark?
and then trying to find a way for Mark to finance that guy to fly here.
But why am I flying a guy from Zimbabwe?
So, anyways, here's my.
I don't have money, Marco.
You're the head of the
This happens all the time.
you're the head of the merch department.
Dwayne is the assistant to the traveling secretary here.
We would like to sell
he's in
4
charge of flying
million
guys in.
T-shirts this week.
Is he Frida's boss?
What?
Is he Frida's boss? You've never seen Fletch.
Yeah, I have. I had to think for a bit.
This one.
I'm still on Seinfeld because George Costanza was the.
Who's Frida? My secretary.
All right, so my way out of the world. Okay, so I think everybody here by now knows that I know nothing about wrestling in general, but being involved with this has kind of given me some like cursory knowledge, some around the fringe knowledge. So I know there's the WWE, I know there's the AEW, and I know there's the GCW, and I know there's like 47,000 other promotions I don't know shit about, including the 01 in Mattoon, which I right 01.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
I
That
got
is
that right.
correct.
Okay, so however,
01 USA.
01 USA. Excuse
That's
me.
true.
So, I know The Rock, I know Hogan. I've heard a couple names here, but in all honesty, I like Effie. Effie just fucking is different. He is so different from everybody I've ever seen. Now, I'm not talking about quality or wrestling. I ain't talking about nothing. But I think I would like to see the WWE bring him on a one shot once in a while. More important than that, though, what I'd like to see happen is for a group, like a not tag team, but a group, a gang, an organization, whatever they call them, a
Faction.
Faction.
a
Stable.
faction,
A stable.
a faction, a stable.
The
Cool.
Tony Special.
I would like to see a faction of luches
Oh, no, we've done that.
join the.
The Latino World Order. Shout out to Eddie Guerrero.
See, I don't know shit, so they probably already done this shit. But I'd like to see a faction of them. I'd like to see a faction of, I'd like to see like 4 factions with each one has a male, a female, and a team.
Mark, we are going to
dude.
introduce you to WCW Nitro 1999.
They don't exist today, so all that matters is today. Okay, but give me 4 factions. Okay, Each one has a tag team. Each one has a male and a female wrestler. And somehow we create a tournament-style thing that takes 3 months, and it's not about a story at all. Fuck the story. How about we just say we're competitive and we care, which, I mean, in pro wrestling is not really competitive or not caring, but we build it up in such a way people believe that they have to root for a team, not root for a person, root for an entire, like, I'm behind this team. I am Team Luce. I am Team West Coast. I am Team East Coast. I am Team Canada, Team Jamaica. I don't give a shit.
Team NWO and Team WCW?
No, because I don't know those people. But no, I mean, just like something that makes you feel like you really want to see all the members of your team elevate, and losing is not an option.
This actually sounds familiar, Mark.
I'm sure it does, because I don't know shit about it.
I'm going to take you back to TNA in the early days, the World X Cup.
Yeah, it's the World X, yeah.
This is teams from multiple countries like UK, Canada, US, Mexico, all X Division guys, so like the junior heavyweights. And same deal, like over the course of a month or two, they would have matches and get points. And then at the end, the winner got a big trophy. So, kind of.
So what I'm hearing here is that anybody that's new to wrestling doesn't know fucking shit about this and goes, "Oh, that'd be cool." And anybody that's ever watched wrestling like for at least 10 years of their life is like, "Mark, you're lame." Is that correct?
No.
Yes, it is. It's okay though.
No.
But you know what? No matter what,
know.
I just want Effie to be the big belt guy at the top of the pile.
So
no matter what.
is Effie bringing his LGBTQ like crew?
He's
Is
bringing
that what
Team
he's doing?
Rainbow.
The LGBT crew.
Team
LGBT
Rainbow.
crew? That's not a bad
That's
idea.
actually a good one. Yeah.
Just thought.
Or just
Jordan,
Team
you-
Rainbow.
Can you imagine Effie and Roman talking about the head of the table? That's
Who's got the head? Who's getting the head tonight?
The whole time Effie's rubbing Paul's head.
yes, and then you got Allie over there, kind of giving the Usos the business, but
I'm sorry?
not the only fans.
The business.
But remember, they're on Fox Network TV.
Fox. Hey, the Bundys were on there.
Allie is a fox.
All right, so I'm sorry that I ruined your guys' night tonight.
Allie
but
catching
like,
bad,
you know what?
Duane.
I'm just thinking as a guy that doesn't get into it, that I would get into it more if I felt like something felt like there
You
was
could
something.
support something like
Right,
you support
that's
the
it.
Cowboys
Right.
or the Red Sox.
Cowboys or the Rangers or
Syracuse,
the
or-
Cowboys, the Rangers, the Illini, or
Ugh.
pretty much anybody that's not winning shit.
You mean the constant second rounders?
Right.
The-
Or second places, or what is it? If you ain't first, you're last, guys.
Hey, I'd like to point out the Boston Red Sox. Kyler tells me every day they are undefeated in spring training. We're 6-0, Red Sox, and I have to tell Kyler, yes, we're playing a bunch of bums, Kyler. He's like, well, Otani's playing today. I said, Otani's going to throw 3 pitches and then warm his ass on the seat
Then have one at bat.
and one at bat.
wait
But
till
we
April.
are 6-0.
Just want to be clear about this. I'm a Texas Rangers fan through and through. I'm a Royals fan because that was my young life. I'm a Cardinals
that
fan
stadium.
because when I got here, I liked Ozzy. Okay, but I am a Showtani fan beyond all. He is the new Nolan Ryan in my heart because that motherfucker is a beast.
See, we're getting away, but that's how I am. Red Sox through and through
Right.
since I was a kid. But Fernando Tatis Jr. is
yep.
my guy. Now, I wish he'd stay off the motorcycles because now I don't get to see him play till
Hey, Keith, we're giving you
July.
brilliant content for your baseball stuff.
Yes, if anybody wants to hear about baseball,
Me and Narge do like
Which is
baseball,
great
too.
content. It's great talk.
Keith Gibson. Keith
Redmond likes it, too, but he's a Cub fan, so we don't listen.
Keith gives the $1 million promo on the baseball stuff.
There's me. I don't know shit about baseball.
Wait a minute. Let
Keith has a whoa.
Keith's about to drop the boom.
Go. Drop
Mark
the hammer.
Redmond, I appreciate you more than anybody on this show right now because you're a Cub fan.
Thank you. It's nice to be appreciated.
Hey, you know what?
That's-
We don't have.
that's the only reason
just
I
wanna be honest,
appreciate you.
We
No,
have
I'm
no Cub hate here because we're not Cardinals fans in the direct sense. Like I like the Cardinals because of Ozzie Smith. He stopped playing a
He
couple
doesn't
years
play for
ago.
them anymore.
He stopped playing a couple years ago.
It's been longer than that.
But I do have an Ozzie Smith shirt, like a jersey, because
fine.
of Ozzie fucking Smith.
I hate the Cardinals. I would get a Keith Hernandez Cardinals jersey.
There you go.
The old
I
number
just heard
37.
that one of the main guys for the Cardinals the last few years is now a Ranger. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Is it Carpenter?
Matt Carpenter,
Yes,
yeah.
correct.
Yeah, I was like, and everybody on the Rangers feed when they announced it was like, the guy that was in St. Louis, that guy? I'm like, yeah, that guy. I'm like, holy. And
You
they're
mean the guy who's 5 years past his prime?
correct. But in Texas, they're not as quick as some of us.
We got Trevor Story in Boston. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I heard about that.
base.
Huh?
But you
Play
didn't
second
get
base.
you didn't get the
Wearing
one
number
guy that you wanted.
24. He's going to wear number 24. My favorite player of all time wears number 24.
Kid.
His name is
The kid.
Kyler Nargelinas of the Central State Spikes.
The littler kid.
No, but
Now I'm hot.
Ken Griffey Jr. is 24, and that's right.
More
Keith.
importantly, Dwight fucking Evans was 24 for the Red Sox.
Manny doing Manny things. Manny Ramirez.
Dwight Evans should have his number retired by those
Correct.
salty fruits.
I
in
wish
Boston.
to apologize to you wrestling fans who are having to listen to a baseball podcast right now, but we swear to God we'll get back to the wrestling now.
Dwight Evans was an
well,
icon.
Mark,
What position
it's on
is-
you. Give us your creative, brother.
All right. Well,
I'm anxious to hear this.
so real quick before you get there, you were upset, but see, Trevor Story was 27, and I know your history of Red Sox
Pudge,
jerseys.
yeah.
Carlton Fisk. So,
I'm not mad that he's not wearing 27, but come on, pick something other than Dewey, man.
hey,
Hey, Narge, I just want to point out that I lost all respect for his knowledge of Red Sox
Yeah, we talked
jerseys
about it
that
earlier.
one night.
we
Hey.
did some baseball trivia before you got here, and I said I got one for you, buddy.
I'm sorry. I hear number 6 for the Red Sox. I go Bill Buckner. Keith,
Buckner.
you got
What?
Oh, that was kind of a
Keith,
tilted
who's number
angle
6
there.
for the Red Sox?
One
Was
question.
that you, Strimsky?
Oh, that was 8.
No, he was 8.
Red Sox. Keith.
So we did a baseball.
He's got the right team, wrong
Teddy
jersey.
baseball.
We did a
Johnny
Six was
Pesky.
Teddy baseball.
we did
Teddy
baseball.
Pesky.
9.
Hang on, we did baseball trivia a few
Oh.
weeks ago, and the question was who for the Red Sox had number 6 retired. I
And it
said
was Pesky.
I said Bill Buckner because that's who I remember being number 6.
And I said
I really don't know.
I said I think it's Johnny Pesky.
But I thought I thought he was number 1. I got him confused with Bobby Dorr. That's my fault.
I wasn't as confident as I should have been being a Red Sox fan.
So
But
cutting
I
to the chase,
trusted-
we took Redmond's choice.
I trusted
As you
Redmond's
should.
intelligence.
and Narge's choice was the winner.
Yep.
And we then realized
I got
at that
one
very
wrong
moment,
over
and
4
then
hours.
we realized at that
Sue
one
me.
moment that Mark Redmond does have a form of kryptonite, and it is Pesky.
Hey, I got the steamboat.
pesky.
I got the guy who created the steamboat.
You did get that. That was
Yeah,
amazing.
It was Robert Fulton.
It was Ricky.
His name was Bricky.
The Steamboat Dragon.
If I ever have a steamboat, it's
see,
going to be named the Dragon, by the
But
way.
this plays into wrestling because I said Robert Fuller,
right.
You did.
who was the
Tennessee
Tennessee
Lee.
stud,
Tennessee's
Tennessee Lee.
Robert Parker.
Robert Parker,
He was
Colonel.
he was also in the ring when Scott Hall made his debut.
He was managing Mike Enos.
Listen to us. We're talking about Scott Hall again. How'd that happen?
See, that's why I'm here. I work
Keith
these
is a masterful
things.
podcaster, so he can segue into anything.
So Keith, I'm drunk that night.
We know a guy with a
Surprise.
segue, but he's not as good as this guy.
He might be on. I saw him earlier. So I'm on, and I said, Robert Fuller, and I'm like, no, motherfucker, it's Robert Fulton. I may have been the only one in the room that got this out of like 30 tables, but we got it.
We got it. Hey,
We
Menders.
were first place. For
Yeah.
most of the
Menders,
night.
just, we've been rambling a minute, and Keith's been involved in a bit. You've been listening to all the creative so far, and we'll call mine pseudo-creative because it really wasn't.
Pick your
Apparently, it
favorite.
was like I was copycatting.
There's nothing
shit.
original in wrestling
Exactly.
anymore, so
There's
you're
not-
fine.
Well, nothing I said was original. So, but Menders, of all the things you've heard so far, which one of the storyline ideas that you've heard so far did you go like, that'd be fucking cool? Or none?
Well, sorry, Duane, but Triple H is done.
She did say that in the chat. As soon as she said, she's like, fuck you, Triple H is done. Like, all right, then.
And then
Hang on a minute.
actually,
We're
Narge-
killing him right now. We're going to need a CSI investigation. Go ahead.
Narge's idea was probably my favorite out of what's going on. The only thing I wish they would do is I wish they would bring back the Intercontinental Championship and make it what it should be.
Yes.
Agreed.
I do agree with it. I mean, it's bad. I mean, obviously it's still there, but it's
It's
not
there,
nearly it's not
but
nearly as
it's not what
prestigious
it
as
was.
it should be.
I would eliminate the U.S. title. I really would.
Go for it.
Only if there's no brain extension.
The thing is you don't need the WCW belts anymore. You don't. You need a world title, an Intercontinental title, a tag title, and I'm okay with a cruiserweight
and a
title.
European.
Or whatever. I don't even mind a hardcore title as long as that it's a hardcore match that makes sense.
So, blood.
Yes.
Can
All
we
right,
please
then.
get rid of the 24/7 title? I'm over it.
You
It
don't
needs
like
to be
seeing
Is that the
gone.
one they
everybody
handle the
running around?
celebrity for showing up?
It's so disrespectful to the wrestlers
It
that they
is.
make chase around.
Right.
It's like,
oh,
you're not
we
good
really
enough.
want you to come star with us, guy that was in the movie. Come here and we'll give you a
You
award.
don't see it as them paying them to not have to do much.
I'm
I'm kidding.
those are the folks you cut from the roster.
Jeff Hardy.
That's the fact.
Exactly. No, see if they would bring back the
I'd cut Jeff Hardy
hardcore
anyway.
championship, totally different idea. That's what the 24/7 was supposed to be, and it's all screwed up. It
Duane?
should. It's not what it should be.
Coitus interruptus. Go.
I was just wondering if you guys knew who the first Intercontinental Champion was.
I do.
Pat Patterson.
Keith knows.
Yeah. Pat.
Hey, where did he win
As
the
if-
title, Keith?
Not
I know.
Brazil.
Yeah, the storyline goes he won it in a tournament in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
He won it on a notepad on Vince McMahon's desk.
But that's,
So this is but I love that, Mindy. Yes, the Intercontinental title has so much prestige, and not even a hardcore title. So, okay, world title, Intercontinental, television title,
Yes.
There we go. Now we're talking business.
tag team title, women's title, women's tag team title gone.
Yeah, they don't have enough.
It's
women to
stupid.
do that.
Doesn't make any sense.
It was a
That's it.
It was a noble effort to do the women's tag
And I'm
title,
okay
but
with the
it
King of the
didn't
Ring
work.
once a year. I think King of the Ring elevates the right person. Corbin was king, did a great job.
Right.
Selena, whatever. There are certain guys who have elevated the King of the Ring. Booker T,
Yeah.
Macho Man.
Macho Man,
Yeah.
Macho King.
Yeah. Although Macho didn't win the tournament, though.
But he was still the king.
He was the king.
Was he a macho man?
Mabel, everybody agrees.
King
Mabel,
Mabel,
right?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Third man.
But I mean, really, Booker T. I think maybe the best King of
I
the Ring
think
of all
I think
time.
Booker did
No,
the best.
Hey,
Bad News Barrett?
One. You're forgetting one. Triple
Matt-
H. It helped him change from his.
Mender just
English
told us to
persona to
forget
the
Triple
other
H.
Well, Austin won King of the Ring too. We don't get Austin.
Yeah, but he didn't wear the,
316.
he didn't wear the crown though.
Well, no, but we don't
Edge
get
won
Austin.
it too. Well, Edge won it too.
Edge did. He got a big trophy.
You know who won it?
He
and
did
didn't
get a big trophy.
You know who won it and didn't get enough push after and deserved it and still going today?
Tito Santana,
Mr. Ass himself, Billy Gunn, father of the Ass
the
Boys.
patriarch of the ass family.
Yes, the very nice
The proprietor of
Uh,
ass
uh,
powder.
ass powder.
What title did the goofy little fucker from the Scream movies win?
That was the WCW World Heavyweight
Okay,
Championship.
thank you.
Which was
World
a
Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, the
that
Ric-
guy
the
is
Ric
smaller than my right pinky.
Well, he pinned Eric Bischoff to get it.
That's true.
I
But
could pin Eric
heavyweight?
Bischoff.
What?
Heavyweight?
Yeah.
Anybody they consider
I think they
anybody
should
a
call him
heavyweight.
pencil weight.
These weight limits don't really matter unless it's like 205, and even
Right.
at that point they were pushing it there for a while.
205.
Like
I
Billy
ain't seen
Corgan.
205 since 85.
speaking of which, whatever happened to 205 Live?
Canceled
It's now NXT Level Up. It's like their second show.
which is not needed. Again, back to my storyline. You get rid of all
think-
that stupid.
I think
Get rid of
That's
all
just-
the divisions and
I
make
think
these
that's-
motherfuckers honest.
I think that's more just them
you
calling
go.
for content.
Again, for me, I watch so much old school stuff. You get rid of all that bullshit. You do superstars again. You do main event. Hell, do WWE Saturday night. I don't care. You just don't need all of the division. That's
Now
the
let me ask
problem
this,
I have.
okay? And I hear you, but when I ask this, and again, I don't watch, so I don't know, but aren't those like you have? I heard you guys talk about there's wrestling every night, but one night a week,
Not
right?
anymore. It's pretty much every night.
Okay, so
Not
every
anymore,
night a
it's
week
every
there's
night.
wrestling, right? So let's take AEW out of that equation. That's Wednesdays, right?
As a kid, I'd have had a
Yes,
hard on
you are correct.
24/7.
Okay.
With wrestling
So-
every night.
So you take AEW out. Am I
Thank you.
right or wrong in the? Am I right or wrong in the idea that like Monday night it's this one entity,
Raw.
Tuesdays that entity,
NXT.
Thursdays that entity,
Impact.
Friday.
SmackDown.
Okay, so you want to get rid of the
Rampage.
entities and you want to turn them into fuck this. We have one.
No,
is that
so
correct?
I'm okay with all the shows, but
Right.
so see, like right now, the SmackDown Heavyweight Champion
Right.
is Roman Reigns.
Okay.
The Raw Heavyweight Champion is Brock Lesnar.
Right.
You don't need that. On SmackDown, the Intercontinental Champion is
Ricochet.
Ricochet.
Yeah, but when you have all these little like you have so in the WWE world you have 6 entities. If I'm hearing you guys correct.
Three.
Okay, so 3 and they do 2 shows a week.
No, 3.
3.
So,
So,
all right.
what are the other 4 shows?
You're not listening.
AEW.
Mark's had too much whiskey.
Nope.
Get that whiskey away.
Listen, so Monday night is Raw.
The WWE.
Raw.
They have their own roster.
Which is way
WWE
too long.
Raw, yes.
Which is way too long.
Unless you really get into
pipe
it,
down.
you have AEW Dark
Right.
too.
Yes, right, Mindy. Which AEW Dark is kind of where they pick guys if they really like the indie guys.
That's where they put Jay
Right.
Lethal because they don't know what they got.
And
That's
he's going
where-
to,
that's
he's
where
going
Effie
back
should
to
be
Ring of
next.
Honor.
Jackson was on
That's
there.
where Effie should go next.
But so then Tuesday night's NXT,
And
Okay.
and NWA Power.
NWA Power, which NXT used to be, but we're only talking WWE. So hang on. So Monday Raw, Tuesday's NXT, which is not necessary. Again, I get it. A few years ago, I was all in it.
So if we get rid of it, we fold them into the other
one company.
we sold the best people into it.
Let's hop in the time machine,
Right.
Doc, and go back to 1993.
Okay.
WWE was one company.
Right.
They did Raw, Superstars, I don't know, Saturday Night's Main Event every now and then. You literally focus on one roster.
Right.
What they have now is 3 separate rosters.
Okay.
That's too much.
So if you have one roster, do you limit the amount of shows, the exposure?
No.
Does that also happen?
No, you give. So if you have one roster, you keep the same amount of shows, so the guys on the roster do get more exposure, but you have to slim the roster down. Yeah.
Okay.
If you put the roster into one, you've got these top guys. So now you're like, well, who's my champ? Okay.
Right.
I've got Roman, Brock, AJ, blah, blah. But back in the day, you had Hulk, Macho, Warrior, Earthquake. I mean, this isn't any different than it used to be.
Macho above Hogan, though.
I mean, you had Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, Kevin Nash at one point, Undertaker.
Michaels.
I said Shawn.
Oh, okay.
But you had so at any this is not unusual.
Right.
They're just thinking, oh, well, we can, instead of one top guy, we could give you 3 top guys, but it's not necessary. I think and that's why you don't have a Hogan, you don't have a Cena, you don't have that anymore because you have so many shows. So
you don't have a single draw guy.
Here's Brock
that
and
pulls
Roman.
everybody in.
But if you focused on one roster, then Brock and Roman are those guys going back and forth. They can
Right.
swap the belt every year.
Yeah, but
and you got a top guy.
hang on a minute. But I've heard from you more than once that it's getting boring to see the same 2 guys fight each other every other.
And I'm about to say that. So, and the problem with Brock and Roman is neither of them are really the Cena Hogan babyface.
Austin.
WWE doesn't have a babyface, really.
They do if
They
I,
swap-
I
they
think
switch
they
too
do
much.
if they.
They don't
you
have the
put
right
AJ in there.
personalities anymore.
Who
Is that
Keith,
right?
you say AJ?
I think AJ could be that guy.
I think
without a
Riddle.
doubt.
I think Riddle could be that guy. The
AJ
young
like
kids
AJ Styles?
him.
Is that right?
Yes.
AJ Styles?
Oh,
Yeah.
AJ could easily be a top babyface.
Yeah.
if
And you're
sold
thinking
right.
Miz, right? Miz?
No,
He'd be a heel.
No, he's a
Oh,
heel
heel.
now, but
No,
if you
keep him a
flip
heel.
him,
Keep him a heel.
Nope, better as a
dude,
heel.
he just did fucking Dancing with the Stars.
Yep.
And people hate him.
Yes. They
No,
hate
the
him.
people that watched him on Dancing with Stars did not hate
People
him.
that watch Dancing with Stars are not WWE fans.
He has done the fake.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're
That's
right.
why he didn't win.
The millions of people that watch that
And
fake
millions.
ass dancing show, which
He's-
is more millions that watch wrestling,
The thing.
could be converted with a little help.
Everybody else who's watched wrestling understands
If only that were true.
They did a face turn with the Miz at one point.
Right?
And it was a
worked for him.
fart in church. Nobody cared.
he got booed
Was
out
that
of the
before or
building.
after the dancing thing?
Before.
Yeah.
I think the dancing thing has some validity to it. It drew in new eyes.
The thing is there are certain people you look at and you're like, I just don't like you.
I just don't believe you as
And
this person.
It's him. This
Okay.
is the guy. He's got all the money. He's got the hot ass wife. He's got the perfect kids. He's got the perfect life.
Miz is
He's
better.
a
at-
cool
No,
dad.
nobody.
Miz is
Yeah, he's
better
a
as
cool
a heel.
dad. Nobody's like, oh, he's John Cena.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Can Cody Rhodes be the top babyface?
No.
Fuck
No.
no.
Wow, that was
Now I'm
emphatic.
hitting the whiskey. Cody.
Give it
Cody's
to Dwayne. He needs to pipe
All right,
up more.
Dwayne,
Cody's
go.
got, here's my
No,
thing.
the
Here's
bottle.
my thing
Give
with
him
Cody.
the bottle.
Hey, everybody pipe down. Keith, what's up?
I think we see Cody coming in and this. I think they're going to screw this up big time. I really do. I think Cody's got to come in as a heel. If they try to put him as babyface, he's going to get booed out of the building just like he did in AEW.
I think they're going to give him the belt, Keith. I really do. I think he's going to beat Rollins at Mania, and then he is going to beat Roman at WrestleMania. They're going to give him the belt to stick it to Tony. They're going to be like, look, we made him our champion.
I see Cody Rhodes showing up next Monday night.
Nope.
I really hope they don't do that.
Cody's making the biggest mistake of his career.
Nah.
He is.
He is.
It's terrible.
Why?
Because short-term booking with WWE, this is not long-term. Cody left them. You know Vince. He holds a grudge. Think of all the guys who have come back. Kurt Angle came back.
Right.
Look at the shit they did to Kurt Angle.
Right.
Cody, they're going to parade Cody around like the prize donkey that he might be for about 2 or 3 months. And then Cody's going to SmackDown and he's going to wrestle Ricochet.
As he should.
I mean,
He is not a main event talent.
no. When I said that was my problem in AEW.
No,
and I think,
but hold on. I
Go
agree,
ahead.
but I think Cody is an Intercontinental. I think Cody could hold the Intercontinental title and elevate it with some of his matches with the lower tier, not your top guys, but the next glow down.
and I agree with you, Keith, but does Cody agree with us? No.
Well, no.
Cody thinks he's his dad. He thinks he is the new American dream, and that's why Cody's leaving AEW.
We're talking about Cody Rhodes?
Yes,
Son
because
of Dustin
Tony Khan-
Dusty?
Dusty.
Son of a plumber man. I tell you what, right
Yeah.
now, chilling right here while I'm in Nwa Diamond Kings and Queens. I've lived on alleys. Ain't no pokum beans.
See, and Tony sees what I see.
Keith is having a seizure.
But
Not too much crown.
If you will.
Tony sees what I see. Cody is not a main event heavyweight champ.
Right.
Cody is he's not even a mid card. He is the setup guy. He is the
He's
secondary
the gatekeeper.
title. TNT title, perfect for Cody. He's a TNT champ all day long. Cody, that neck tattoo, that was stupid. Nobody likes Brandy is gorgeous. Nobody likes her though. Nobody likes her.
No.
If she's gorgeous, I do.
Had Cody went heel, Cody would have been the Triple H of AEW.
Yeah.
He'd have been the best.
He's stubborn.
I don't think you're going to hear anybody disagree with that at all.
He'd have been the best heel that company has ever. He'd have been bigger than Omega as a heel.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega, the fans still love him. He's an asshole, but they
Right.
love him.
Adam Cole,
Cody,
same deal.
Yeah, Adam Cole is the most over heel. He may be the worst
I can't
tweener
stand
of all
Cole.
time, baby.
All right, so here's the
Cole's
thing, man.
overrated.
We have to move forward. We have to hear Mark Redman's creative.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I mean, let's be honest here. Narge has been unhappy with WWE creative so long that he has literally chosen AEW as his, this is better.
Yep.
And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm
Mark
right with
is
him.
sticking with his tried and true WWE, his lore, his childhood, all that. There's nothing wrong with that. However, Mark does agree that maybe they could like tweak the creative. So I honestly believe that Narge came at this from a standpoint of fuck WWE. This is what I would do. I would just like wreck this shit. And Duane came at us like, I don't know, I'll fucking do it this way.
He's
And I
trying
came
to
at
take pieces that are
Yeah.
there and make them work.
And
which
I
is
came at
good.
it
I
like-
can't do that.
I came at like
can-
I don't
I
know
can-
shit about shit. So
I
here's
can
what I
do that
think.
too, so.
But I think Mark is best equipped to give us a storyline from the WWE that supports his thesis that this is a tweak, not a requirement. Go ahead.
Okay, so there's a couple routes I've thought about. One was like an actual angle with specific people. Another was kind of the same lines Narge took with like restructuring the plan, you know. So I'll do both. I'll kind of keep it short on both of them. I would retool the pay-per-view system if it was me. That for starters.
How so?
Hang on a minute. So this has got nothing to do with
I'm sorry,
creative. or
premium live event
You
system.
you just literally want to change their marketing and distribution system
just
as
for-
opposed to their storylines. You want to change everything.
Now I'm
all right.
hang
Cool.
on, I'm
Cool.
getting to- First off, that's one of the big problems with WWE is just everything is too gimmicky. I think you'd agree with that.
Well, that's why I said get rid of the
Ah,
CGI.
hey, I almost let you talk.
Hang on. Show of hands.
You asked if I agreed, and I agree.
Show of
and
hands. We
yes,
agree.
yes.
We agree. Yes, we
So
do.
Say aye.
So the problem is a lot of the pay-per-views are named after gimmick matches that usually go over like a fart in a shirt, like Hell in a Cell, Elimination Chamber. You can have the matches, but you don't need a pay-per-view centered around them. You know,
All right.
it gets too predictable. You know, oh, it's October. They're going to do a Hell in a Cell match here. If you had it like, look
It
back,
needs-
take like 2000, Triple H and Cactus had a feud first part of the year. They did a Hell in a Cell with No Way Out. It was a lot of people say it's an undercard pay-per-view. It's the last one before Mania, all that. So I would take out like the Hell in a Cell,
Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. You know, put that back in WrestleMania.
It needs to mean something when
Exactly.
you have it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because then it's the year-long eligibility, so you could theoretically save it till Mania the next year.
Hey, Mark, I hate to interrupt. I just want to ask you a quick question with
Shoot.
this because I love your thought process. Are you trying to say, though, that we should cut out the number of pay-per-views or just cut the way the pay-per-views are structured?
Both. I say both. You don't
Okay.
need to have a pay-per-view every month.
No, look at AEW.
AEW's got it doing fine with 4 or 5.
They're 4 or 5, but they're long.
They're long and they're spaced out.
What I think needs to happen is WWE should bring, and not to cut you off, WWE should bring back Saturday Night's Main Event.
I agree.
AEW should bring back Clash of the Champions. They can't call it that, but a Clash of the Battle of the
Clash
Belts.
of the Titans.
Right.
Where you have, it's not a pay-per-view, but we've got these feuds where we can do something and present it in a way that it's not, hey,
Right.
tune in on Wednesday nights. You know what that means.
See,
So
I would.
now,
oh, sorry.
the pay-per-view part, WWE specifically.
Right.
Those aren't really pay-per-views anymore,
Well,
are
premium live
Premium
event.
live events, brother.
they? Do you have to pay for them when you have a Peacock Network subscription or whatever it is?
No, you don't.
Okay, so
They
call
ingrained
them that.
We're ingrained to call them
Right,
pay-per-views
right.
after 40 years of conditioning.
So Vince sells it as that still, but in
No,
general,
he
it's
sells
like
it as a premium
you
live
could-
event
Yeah,
now.
but you can
No,
keep
it's
watching
us.
as long as you're in Peacock, right?
It's
Correct,
ingrained in our
correct.
head
Okay,
to say
all right.
that.
Yeah.
And AEW's working their way there. I mean,
They'll
the
get it
rumor is
HBO Max
HBO
and-
Max, and it'll be
So anyway, so instead of going 12, sometimes even 13 in a year, if they do like a special, I would cut it down to maybe 6. You got your main 4. You got the Rumble, SummerSlam, WrestleMania, Survivor Series.
Correct.
I like that number, Mark.
Right? Bring back King of the Ring.
I like 4.
Okay, that's 5.
I like King of the Ring.
Right? And then I would bring back...
See, I think Money in the you said Mania, but I think Money in the Bank is not a bad one.
I like Money in the Bank at Mania too, Mark. I just think it brings something to the stage there.
So-
Makes it a more grander event.
So with Survivor Series, I would get
Over
back...
the Edge? No, sorry.
For Survivor Series, I would go back to the original formula where you just take random feuds and put them together. It's not Team Raw versus Team SmackDown.
No, the 4-on-4 concept.
Yeah. So then,
Yeah.
if you want to do the Team Raw versus Team SmackDown, bring back bragging rights.
Yeah.
Remember that pay-per-view? It was just for one night.
I don't remember that one.
It wasn't around for very long. It was in like the late 2000s. But that way, Survivor Series, don't do the champion versus champion matches. Don't do the team brand matches. Just go back to having 5 or 6 matches take all the hot feuds, which, hot is the general term, put them in a match, like the 1989 Survivor Series was about perfect.
Yeah.
It was 4 matches, and they had Hogan and Demolition on a team. I mean, that's money right there. I don't like Hogan, but he was a draw.
Who was the fourth guy?
Jake.
Jake.
Hogan, Jake, and Demolition on a team.
Right.
You can't get that now because everybody's on different shows. So then you're going to have like Roman on one team, Rollins on another team, your Joe Blow, the shit show on one team.
Hear me out on this. I like bragging rights, but what if I don't want to forget WCW totally?
Or should you?
Clash.
you-
You
do
should
we-
have Clash of Champions back?
Well, I'd
Well,
keep that more as a TV special.
I was going to say,
Right.
normally I'd say Halloween Havoc, but you have Survivor Series. Great American Bash. You do it in May or June before SummerSlam. Great American
Right.
Bash is the lead. Mania, the Bash, SummerSlam.
Well, yeah, King of the Ring for June.
No, fuck that. Move it.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't agree with that necessarily. King of the Ring is
Great
June
American
for me.
Bash, for me, better than Starrcade.
You know what I would do? I bring back Super Brawl.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do,
yeah.
do a half-year Mania. Do Mania in April. Bring
That's-
Super Brawl later on.
That should be what.
That should be what SummerSlam is.
Yeah,
And it
exactly.
kind of is.
But yeah, so
Mark, you spilled.
So that's phase 1. Number 2, this is assuming that they stick with the unified championship after WrestleMania, which I hope that they are. So you got, let's just say, for instance, Brock is the champion. That's not what I'm thinking is going to
One
happen.
champion only.
So he goes between both shows free. There's no. I would keep, to an extension, I would keep the brand extension just to keep things separate. But I would elevate the U.S. title and the Intercontinental title to be like the top guy on each show. Really make it worth something if somebody's the
Like
Intercontinental
the
champion.
next in line to the
Right.
top guy. Like
Make it-
Warrior was Intercontinental when Hogan was the champ.
Back in the day, the Intercontinental champion was the number 1 contender. The U.S. champion was number 1 contender in WCW.
Yeah, okay.
They need to get back to that. Make the championship worth something. And then
I
would
agree.
Then I would unify the women's championships at next year's Mania. If it's Ronda and Becky or whoever.
Would you have to wait that long though?
I think you build to it for the spectacle.
Okay.
I like your thought process.
Yeah, and then same deal, tag teams, unify the tag titles, and the world champion, women's champion, tag champion go between both shows. And then you just build contenders out of each show. So that's what I would do with the pay-per-views, and the next thing I do, Raw goes back to 2 hours. It's just 3 hours is too long on a Monday.
So, yeah.
I have to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work, and I'm up till 10 watching Raw every
You know what
Monday.
I would do? I'd make Raw 2 hours and make Dynamite 3 hours.
No, 3 hours is too long.
Not for me. I love Dynamite.
No.
Here's the thing.
What
I
they
agree
should
with
do-
you, Mark, on this.
Dynamite.
What they do in 3 hours, they can easily do in 2.
They can, but I just love AEW.
Well, I mean, if they take away all the bullshit storylines,
What'd you
of
say,
course.
Keith? You agree with me? As usual.
No, I agree with Mark here on this.
Well, hey, where's that button where we hang up on it?
As far as AEW goes, Rampage gets off Fridays. I move it to Saturdays at 6:05 TBS.
Nobody's watching Friday nights.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
ratings are getting
Because
lower
it's too long,
and lower.
it's too much, it's too
No, it's not
everything.
even that it's too much. It's nobody's home.
No, they
Fridays at 9
literally they
o'clock.
watch SmackDown. And they're like, I'm heading to the bar for drinks.
Right.
Speaking of which, they should have put Dynamite. They should have left on TNT and put
Well, they could.
Rampage on TBS.
Well, they moved it for hockey.
Hockey. NHL,
Hockey.
a lot of big money there. Apparently,
Plus,
people like to watch much
It's,
idiots.
it's
on
not on
ice.
TNT, so it's not dealing with the tournament. It's not going to deal with the NBA playoffs there.
Yeah.
So that's the reason for that.
The
so
thing is that Turner is back in love with wrestling again.
Right.
So
Hold on. Instead of Saturdays, why couldn't you put it on a Sunday mornings, like 12:05?
nobody's awake at 12.
11:05.
Nobody's awake then.
11:05 in the AM or 12:05 in the AM. There
Keith,
is a
we're
difference.
married, so we don't understand. We don't get to go out on Saturdays anymore, but a lot of the single wrestling folks get to go out on Saturday
and
nights.
plus, everybody's at church on
Yep, we
Sunday
sure
morning.
do.
But not everybody. I'm usually working on Sundays. But the other thing I would do, I take
I go to
NXT
church on Saturday night. 10 o'clock is my prime time.
Hey.
And fire all of them? Oh.
So the other thing I do, NXT, I think goes to Peacock because they don't need to have it on cable television.
Ratings are trash.
I mean,
There's no reason.
they need to keep it to develop their guys. You know, that's what it's there for.
1 hour show.
You think 1 hour?
Yeah.
I say
Yeah, I
Superstar,
agree.
again,
1 hour. 1 hour.
like
I say if you're
Superstars.
moving it to Peacock, it should be 2 hours.
okay, yeah,
Because then it's on somewhere where people are wanting to watch it.
and it's content. And
Well, that's good.
Peacock's
That's a
good
great
for.
point.
But so yeah, that's what I would do with that. If I'm going with an angle, I told you this a long time ago, and I said they should do it with Becky and Bianca. I think after WrestleMania, Bianca wins the championship from Becky. I think she wins clean.
You're doing a woman's angle
I'm doing a woman's angle.
to get ratings.
Are you saying after?
You do
WrestleMania?
realize angles and women, they go well together.
Now, hang on. Hear me out here.
I'm
Is it
very
after
curious
WrestleMania
here,
she won the title and not at Mania?
No, Bianca wins the title at Mania.
Okay.
which I agree with.
So the next night she comes out, she's twirling her hair like she does. She got the big long braid, you know. She's
doing her
She
thing.
uses it like a whip. That's
And Rhonda chokes the
Nope.
shit out of
No,
her.
no. So she's bragging, doing her thing, and then she gets jumped from behind by a hooded figure in all black, you know. Take the hood off. You got Bailey.
Bailey,
I was so excited.
Yes.
But
Ding dong.
Wait, I'm not
I
done.
mean,
I
did
can
Bailey
see that. I
wiggle
can
her?
see
Did
that.
I am not
did
done.
Bailey wiggle her?
No.
No.
So, but here's what you do.
She brought
Bailey.
2 cakes to the ring, though.
So Bailey jumps Bianca, lays her out, hits her finish or whatever on the belt, you know, knock her out. Take out a fucking pair of scissors, cut that braid off.
Oh boy.
Oh, you want to pull a Samson Delia move?
Yeah, because
Holy shit!
all the heels complain that Bianca uses her hair to her
as
advantage.
a weapon, right?
Right.
It's a weapon.
So she cuts the braid off. She's holding up like a trophy, like she just skinned a fucking whatever. And for the next several weeks, she comes out. She's carrying it with her. She's using it as a whip. You know, she's getting heat, choking people with it. And that's gonna.
You do understand, as a follically challenged human being that you might be, how that might be actually physically detrimental to somebody and may actually piss them off.
Exactly.
Okay.
Is Bailey bringing out Ed Leslie to do this?
No, she's doing it herself.
Oh,
Like because remember when she first turned heel, what did she do?
so the Brutus,
Cut her hair.
She cut her hair.
Brutus isn't coming out.
Brutus ain't coming out.
Now there's no
So-
That would be
potential
awesome.
scalping imagery involved here.
No, she just cut the ponytail off.
Right. I get that, but I'm saying that people from the outside who don't get it, because what you don't want to do is burn down the farm, right? You don't want to fuck things up
no.
by doing something like this. People are like, oh my God, they're scalping people on the
I-
wrestling shows.
What has Bianca been saying for the last month? Like, don't touch my hair.
Right.
No, I
So-
love this angle. And
so-
Bailey, we all expected Bailey at the Rumble.
And Bailey could cut the promos on it. She could get all kinds of heat.
I thought she was a great baby.
Right.
Should better heel.
Right. So then move on to whatever the next pay per view is. Say, not even Backlash. Move down like a couple months. Bailey uses the hair.
Great American Bash.
We'll say Bash. So she'll use the hair to cheat and beat Bianca, and so she's got the title and the hair.
Why doesn't
leads.
somebody choke her out with
What
their own
does she
hair?
do with the hair 2 months later?
If it's a street fight, she could.
Yeah, wrap it around and
Right.
How much hair are we talking about here?
It's-
6 inches, 20 inches?
we're
Man,
talking
it's
down
pretty
to
long.
kneecaps.
It's pretty
Yeah.
long. It's pretty
So
long.
We got about
And
28
thick, too.
inches of hair.
Yeah.
So if it's tied off at both ends, it's turned into a braid, and you take that, you could actually use it as a rope.
You literally wrap
Right.
it around,
Good,
or you
good,
do the
okay.
you do the
Good.
crossface.
Right.
Yeah.
So you could theoretically use that to get the SummerSlam. You know, like you said, it's mid-year WrestleMania is SummerSlam.
I mean, that's some ultimate disrespect.
Right.
I could see that.
So
actually.
then put him in a cage.
Oh yeah, that works.
Make that the blow off.
Oh yeah.
With blood, though.
Yeah, with blood. Bianca wins the title back from Bayley, gets her hair back. You know, big happy moment, fans cheering, and then she moves
As long
on.
as there's not a backstage scene where she glues it back on, we're good.
Right. But then just take that and move it on to WrestleMania. Then she wrestles, say, Charlotte to unify the championship. Or whoever. It could be Sasha.
So now the individual with the long hair that we're talking about, is that her hair or is that
I think it's a
weave?
I think it's a weave
So
situation.
there's no real cut involved. It's more like
Right.
ripping the weave
but,
off
but
and
it's gonna
owning
get,
it.
But it'll get the people
Right,
in.
exactly. But then when she wins it back, she can get it woven right back in and be like back brand
Nobody
new.
knows what it means, but it gets the people going.
That's right.
That's all that matters.
It's like,
Mark, I really like that. I think that's a great
good.
storyline
That's
there.
good.
well, it's like last night when the Miz took Mysterio's mask off. Same deal.
I didn't watch yet. What the fuck did you just spoiler alert?
You know, we've seen Rey Mysterio without his mask.
Thanks,
you know what?
Dwayne.
I'm glad you said
That's why I told my
Dwayne.
wife. My wife was like, "Oh my god, they took his mask
You
off."
know what?
I said, "Let me show you Peacock." I said,
The
and "You can
spoiler
see a
wasn't-
filthy animal."
You know
the
what?
spoiler wasn't the fucking mask part.
So my issue is Mysterio claims to be the biggest respecter and legend of Lucha Libre. Every day he wears that fucking mask, he's disrespecting Lucha Libre. Because what's the rule?
lost
If you
it.
lose the mask in a match, you cannot put it back on
That's
again.
it. I told her. I said,
I know
And
that
he's
from
been-
Nacho Libre.
and
He's
that's-
been doing the big wiggle on Lucha tradition for the last 13 years.
Well, that's the problem. They treat us like we're stupid. The older fans, younger ones,
yeah,
Tyler's
exactly,
probably,
you know?
Now, here's the
probably
thing.
like, "Oh my god, Dad,
I-
they took his mask off." I said, "Yeah, he's got like bleach blonde hair and a baby face."
Well,
Well,
he's
he did
bald.
in '98.
He's
I don't
bald
know.
now.
Oh, is he bald?
Yeah, but
Oh, that's
here's
right, yeah.
here's the thing, though. I mean, I get why they keep the mask because it's merchandising, merchandising,
Right.
like Mel Brooks
That's
says
all.
in Spaceballs.
That's all Vince
Exactly.
cares about.
But they could
Merchandising.
still have the mask. You just wear it to the ring and take it off.
Andrade.
Dr. Wagner Jr.
Yeah.
GCW does that. Phantasmo Santos, he does it.
Escobar.
Yeah. So you could still sell the masks and all that stuff. He just don't wear the mask in a match.
That's
know?
a group I'd like to see in the roster.
No,
got him?
I will. I think you hit the entire nail on the head for this entire show. And
They
I've
treat
enjoyed
us
the
like they're
show.
stupid.
Yes,
Yeah, they do.
bingo.
But like you said, the older fans, we're not.
I mean, and that's the thing, Keith. That's always been my problem with WWE that Mark defends is they treat us like we're morons. Lifelong fans like me, you, Mark, we don't forget things. We're into long-term booking. So I remember when Ray lost the mask.
Young
to Kevin
fans
Owens.
don't remember what
yeah.
they had for breakfast the day before,
Yeah.
though.
Hang
And it's
on now.
like-
Hang on.
And that's a generational gap.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well-
so does anybody else want to happen when Dominic finally turns on Mysterio that he's going to say, "You're not my father"?
I
Yes.
can't wait for that.
Changing to
It's
Dominic
definitely-
Guerrero.
It's definitely going to happen.
And
It's
he
a
goes to
matter of
Dominic
when.
Guerrero.
And that's the thing. So we've got a couple of opportunities like that.
Right.
Dominic has to turn at some point. We've talked. Riddle has to turn.
Yeah, he's got to be
Riddle
the one
has
on
to be
Orton.
the heel.
It's coming sooner than later, I'm
Bro.
sure.
I don't think that happens. I think they have too much invested in Riddle as a babyface.
Yep.
I think Orton's the one who turns.
And I love it.
That's what I said.
The
like
thing is,
last
Keith,
week.
It's too predictable.
is Mark doesn't
Yep.
like Riddle, but Riddle is honestly the biggest babyface on Raw right now.
Yes,
People love
agreed.
him.
I'm inclined to agree with that.
They love him. The stupid stoner thing appeals. Kids don't understand that he's a stoner. They just think he's an idiot on a scooter.
with his flip flops.
Adults are like, well,
They
look,
pay no
it's-
attention to the big mushroom tattoo on his.
Adults are like, hey, who's your dealer?
But adults are like, oh, he's like Spicoli. You know, like,
Spicoli
so he
rocks.
applies.
I love that movie.
Where's Mr. Hand on Raw?
Yeah. Hello.
Nard, you said something a minute about, they treat you guys like morons. Is that an accurate quote?
Yeah,
Okay.
we know things, and a lot of the problem that we know so much is social media.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people pretend, and the thing is, a lot of wrestlers do a bad job about kayfabe. They really do.
They do.
They're like, I hate you. Oh my God. And then you get on Twitter and they're like, oh, selfie at fucking, Papa Del's or whatever.
Well,
you know?
So
Do you remember when Roman and
I
Braun were
miss
having their big
kayfabe.
feud, and then they were photographed sightseeing in Rome
Yeah.
during
Right.
a tour?
Right, so extrapolating on your idea there, okay? They treat us
Extrapolating.
like
That's a
I used a
$1 million
big word. I know. I used it because the morons listening won't understand what it means. So you said they treat us like morons, right? So I personally recall going to 3 WWE matches in my life.
And I remember your critique.
Two of them were just my kids were into it. My children were into it. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll take it. Let's go. And they did. We had a good time and all that good shit. Now, it's not dragging or slagging on anybody, but the one time I went with you, we took Dallas. We went. We had a good time. Yep. But we literally sat next to the WWE fan that they are preaching to. The morons, as you call
that
them.
thought it was real. He
This
50
guy,
years old.
this guy was my age, not even your age, my age, going, oh my God, this is so real. Dude, oh my God, he's going to have to go to the hospital after that. I'm like, you do realize, and I stopped. I was like, you know
don't
what?
Mark ruin it.
It's not that wrestling's fake. That's not it. It's that you need to realize it's entertainment. What's happening in front of you is mostly predetermined. There's always sometimes a guy go off script, but when you sit there and you act like this is a real competition and you tell everybody around you believe so much that it's real, well, you're not right.
And that's why you and I are friends, Mark,
Right.
because, and I've told Rachel that.
You recognize.
Mark's intelligent enough. He understands why we like it. There's an entertainment aspect.
You like the
to it.
entertainment value.
But I'd be at the bank or I'd be out and I'll wear a shirt. And I remember somebody coming up and they're like, oh my God, that dude broke his neck last week. And I'm like,
badass.
the dude's literally like on his honeymoon with his wife.
Did you know he drinks a case of PBR every night of the week?
He broke his neck. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't want to say people are stupid.
And you just grin and shake your head.
You do, Keith, right? And you're like, God damn. Like, and that wrestling is it's so toxic, but it's filled with there are a lot of intelligent, and that's the thing. Wrestling gets a bad rap. They think, oh, redneck shit.
It's carny shit, they say.
It's carny shit. But there's a lot of intelligent people who love wrestling that won't admit it. But then you have a lot of the lowest IQ people in the world that are like, I love wrestling.
But you literally said they treat us like we're morons. They think we're morons, right? And
So
so
they
I offer
are,
this.
yes, to
I
those
offer
people.
this. I offer this. They are selling to what mathematically we call the lowest common denominator.
Yes.
Okay. They know they're smart wrestling fans that will just do the thing. They'll be there. But they know there's this guy down there who shares a tooth with somebody else in Kentucky, and that's the guy they want to know buys into the bullshit.
Which is wrong, because that guy sharing one tooth in Kentucky doesn't have a pot to piss in. Or
He ain't
two
buying no
nickels to rub
merch. He
together.
might show up or he might scream at the TV, but that's
the
it.
intelligent
Yes.
folks that get what's going on,
Right.
we're like, I'm going to support this dude. You want to
Right.
know why I'm going to support him? He's a hard worker. He works to get
That's
the
it.
fans
Yes.
over.
Yep.
He does.
Yep.
He's putting the work in. I want to support that guy. Those are the guys we have on this show.
Right.
Sam Stackhouse.
Right.
Alex Colon.
Alex Colon.
Kevin
Those
Gill.
are fucking examples of guys who are busting their ass and have no problem calling out the people that talk shit about them. And that's who I support. Tracy
Right.
Smothers.
Oh, man.
You know?
Hey,
The
Keith.
athleticism
thing-
is not fake.
No.
The athleticism has never been fake.
Right.
The results have always been scripted.
You guys are getting me fired up.
That's
Give me
it.
that whiskey.
That's
Well,
it.
and I have a question for you, Narge, and the
Yeah.
reason I ask this question is because you and I both have done it. We've both been behind the scenes. We've both been in the ring.
Yeah.
And as intelligent wrestling fans, we kind of see it. Do you feel like you see things coming more, like see it coming before it happens since you've been in the ring? Like I do, since I've been in the ring, it kind of took away a little bit of that luster because I'm like, oh, I see what they're doing here, and I see what's setting up.
Oh, absolutely, Keith. And the thing is I pay more attention to spot calling. I'll see guys in the ring, and they'll be like,
Right.
and I'll be telling Rachel, I said, did you see him do that? Or when, AEW with the dog collar match, Punk fell out of the ring.
Yep.
His head's half under the ring. I said, Rach, he's under their blade, and right now he's coming out. He's going to be busted. He comes out, and he's just gushing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm
definitely.
like, back in
tell.
the day, the guys didn't do that.
Tully Blanchard kept a blade under his tongue.
Yeah,
Under his
there were
tongue?
guys.
Yeah, he taped it under his tongue, and then when
Wow.
But that's the thing. Once
Wait.
Once
He taped a blade under his tongue?
Like a little tip of a razor blade.
I'd be afraid to, like,
Swallow
I don't
it,
know,
yeah.
think.
Actually, I don't even think it was taped. I think he just kept it like in his mouth. I don't know how.
I can barely keep a vitamin B12
yeah,
under
that's
my
like
tongue.
some of those guys. You ever see those guys who wrestle with like a toothpick? I've watched a UFC guy fight with a toothpick in his mouth. He'd literally pop it out in the post fight. He was like, Benson Henderson.
How the fuck are you going to do that?
Benson
Dude, hit
Henderson
you the
would
right
fight
way
a
off something,
5-rounder.
to the roof of your
They'd
mouth.
go to interview him. He'd literally pop his tongue and a toothpick would come out. He fought the whole fight with a toothpick and a mouth guard.
Keith, I want to ask you a question because you told me the first time you were on the show that when you started watching, you were going to Memphis shows with your dad.
Yeah.
So this was back in, I'm going to guess, the early 80s. I'm going to assume you're close to my age. So you saw the heat that the old folks would get with the wrestlers.
Oh yeah.
Lawler, Dundee, you know, these guys would get the crowd so worked up back then that it would be riots sometimes. Kaufman, same deal. So when you're talking about, we're talking about the guys that share a toothbrush and all this stuff, that's okay if you can get them invested enough to believe something. But there's also, like you said, there's got to be the intelligent aspect of it.
You have to respect us, too.
Right.
So you have to find that balance.
Like, we can't think that they're morons for thinking it's real, but they can't think we're idiots for knowing it isn't.
You're right.
Speaking of old folks, my grandmother, I used to watch wrestling with her all the time when I was a kid, and she actually thought wrestling was real.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody did until Vince
Well, here's
business.
why. Here's
Yep.
why.
Vince killed it.
Because the wrestlers weren't on social media. They weren't hanging together.
Right.
They were
Right.
the Undertaker. Every single one of them was.
Vince
You
didn't need a
kayfabe
tax break.
all the time. They stayed in character all the time.
I want to talk about that, Keith. The Undertaker's got a lot of heat this week.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the
Why?
Undertaker. They interviewed the Undertaker, and he said a lot of the guys these days, they don't have grit, which that's an edge thing. But he said, you know, we grew up in the bars. We were busting heads in bars. These kids are in the back playing PS3 and Xbox and blah, blah. And a lot of guys took offense to this. Joey Janela was like, yeah, I'm sorry we're not all drugged out, beating people up in bars. But the thing is, I mean, really, look at the guys now. If you took 5 of the toughest guys now that you could think of and you put them up with the 5 of the toughest when we grew up. So you're gonna take Lesnar first, right? He's
Right.
legit. Yeah. Who else you putting up there? Riddle?
Nick Gage.
Lashley.
Riddle. You're taking the MMA guys who literally
Ronda.
fought. Ronda.
The real fighters, yes.
But then you're putting them in there with Funk, Stan Hansen,
Vader.
Vader, Haku.
Billy Robinson.
Yeah. You're putting them in with guys who don't give a fuck. They'll spend the night in jail. You know what I mean? There's none of that,
Right.
well, hey, I tapped out. Now you're going to tap out when I break all your fingers. And that's the thing. When you look at guys from the 80s, when Stan Hansen came out, I remember watching Havoc where Hansen fought Luger as a kid. You know, and this is Hansen done worlds of shit before this. But I was like, that guy's fucking crazy. Like, he's spitting all over the ring. He's, you know, it's just, it's a world of difference. You see these skinny Ricochet? I'd like to see Ricochet get in a street fight with fucking Stan Hansen. It'd be one and done.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I don't think Stan could catch him.
Right, dude,
I
that's
was
it.
gonna
That's
say that
Cirque
too.
du Soleil bullshit.
Hey, Keith, I have an idea for Clubhouse Radio Lounge.
Clubhouse Lounge Radio.
Oh, sorry, got it wrong. Clubhouse Lounge
all right.
Radio.
I got you, Keith.
CLR. How about this? And obviously, you're doing a beer challenge now, which is really important because Vomit didn't win. But
Which is fantastic.
how about
by the
this?
way.
How about this? Okay, when you're done with this current round to support Jumping the Rail and vice versa, etc. How about we will accumulate a list of 64 pro wrestlers.
Too many.
No,
many.
let me finish
Takes
this.
too long.
Way too many.
No,
32.
I agree, way too
I say
many.
24.
Fuck, the NCAA does 64 teams.
We
Let me
should do,
finish.
we should do storylines, not
Yeah,
wrestlers.
sons of bitches.
Okay, let
listen.
him finish. Let him finish.
Let me
All
finish. If I'm wrong at the end of the story, tell me I'm wrong. But let
Well,
me
you're wrong
finish
now,
the
but go
story.
ahead.
64 professional wrestlers from the WWE, AEW, GCW, and every other pro wrestling faction you've ever seen. 64 individuals. You pair them up in such a way, and I mean, you'll probably have to use these two boys here, Mike and Mark, as help seed them, okay? Seed them out, put them together, and ask people, if you thought there was a real fight, not a wrestling match, not a storyline, not a fucking predetermined outcome, but a real fucking I'm going to kick your ass
Bar fight.
opportunity, a bar fight opportunity, We call it Pro Wrestling Bar Fight. That's the name of the tournament. Okay. Who do you
Brawl
think
for
would
all.
win?
We call brawl for
Brawl
all.
for all. There we go. That's it.
I was just thinking that. I was just thinking that.
A brawl for all.
No, I actually
A pro wrestling brawl for all. If you start working that,
Marco
start
has no
setting it
idea
up.
what we're laughing about.
I don't give a flying fuck.
No, Marco, I think that's a great idea.
It'd be a fun
I think it's
thing.
a great business pairing there as well. I think 64 is too many because it takes too long.
Keith ain't got that
Because
time.
you're
guys.
talking
Takes
about
2
a
weeks.
month, and I think 32 is because the thing is when I've done multiple polls in a day, that didn't come out right.
I'll bet you
whatsoever.
have.
I don't want to hear how many polls you've done.
Keith Gibson, the Jenna Jameson of podcasting.
But anyway, more than
Hey, if anybody needs to donate lube to Keith Gibson, let us know.
Clubhouse
if you do
lubricant.
more than one poll a day, people kind of they don't pay attention to it, or Facebook kind of
Did you about call him
use their algorithm
Gibson
to
Debbie?
not everybody see it.
Debbie
So,
Gibson.
Gibson.
So Debbie, yeah, no relation.
Too
But
bad.
I could see us.
About
Because
doing
I just get
32.
lost in your eyes, baby.
I think we
How
did-
about Robert Gibson?
we should do 32, Keith. We come up with 32 of the toughest sons of bitches.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that either.
Hey.
I said 64 because it's a natural
Didn't they
number
try
for
that
tournaments.
WWE?
Do we
years ago?
include Ken Shamrock, Dan Severn,
Oh, yeah.
guys like that?
Include all those
Include
guys.
them.
Anybody that's competed in professional wrestling.
Sabu.
Anybody that's ever gotten a paycheck for wrestling ever, which could, probably not, but could include
Number
the Pain
one
Train.
seed, the Pain Train
Could
from
include the Pain
Muhammad,
Train.
Illinois.
It probably won't
You know-
get nominated, but why not?
So make
here's
this
my
a
thought,
real
though.
tournament.
I know we'd love to do that. I'm not sure the average person though would pay much attention to or
Keith,
know who half
you
of them are.
don't have average people listening to the show anyways.
You got Tony and Luke sharing their toothbrush in Kentucky, Keith. What? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
But my thought is, if we did this, I would like to maybe do it where we put out the 30. We all get our heads together, not just the tips, the whole head, and
That's my favorite game.
As long as nobody gets shafted, we're fine.
Ask my wife. No.
but I think if we did that, I think it could draw some real interest in naming who is the best wrestler in the world.
But the actual best, not the scripted best, not the Vince McMahon version of the best. Like
Well,
we're like,
it's just an
I
idea.
know
We can
that
always
guy
think about
would
ideas,
fucking
do whatever
kill
we want.
that
The
guy.
thing
So
I have,
basically, it would be a wrestling tough man contest.
Right.
yeah,
Very
the thing
good,
I have
Dwayne.
with the best wrestler in the world thing, it's always going to come down to Steve
Subjective.
Austin, Hulk Hogan.
Right.
you know.
Subjective.
But I like
No, you don't.
Flair.
I don't think you use. I don't think you use past guys.
I like the fist fight thing. No, yeah, Keith, if you want to do recent Brock Lesnar, yeah, that's
No,
and I get
Keith,
where
no,
you're
I
coming
think-
from, Keith.
Keith, I
Brock
think we
Lesnar's
use.
in it.
I think the 32 number is a good number because I think everybody here agrees that that's cool. But I do think that we go back to Fezzik, Andre
Andre.
the Giant. Holy shit, Dwayne, go
Number
home.
3 on Smart's
So
list, right?
we
Take
go
the
there.
bus home,
we go
buddy.
Hulk. We go Randy the Macho Man. We go The Rock. We go Steve Austin. We go to all these names people have heard. And the way you're talking about 32, there are 32 professional wrestlers
Oh yeah.
in the litany of history that 98% of everybody have heard of. Okay, we're not talking about
We're not talking Nick Gage.
yeah, we're not talking Nick Gage, and I hate
Okay.
that, but we're not. Okay, but the bottom line is, who thinks who could beat somebody else in a fucking straight up street
You're
fight?
saying Hulk Hogan
That's
against
it.
Macho Man Randy Savage,
Right.
Drunk
The
as
street
fuck,
fight.
fighting over Liz in the back.
That's right.
Because Randy's a controlled son of.
And we do
Let's
do
do
like
it.
a 4-week poll option where you open up round 1, 32. That's 16 contests for 1 week. You all fucking vote, and every day.
Hey, can we throw
all
in
of
a-
us?
We
all
throw
of
in a
us.
T-shirt for somebody who picks each round correctly. Sure.
I
Can we
think- I
follow
think
that?
we-
Can
There
we
we
track
go.
it?
Works for me.
You know what I think we could do?
What's
think
that,
I can
Keith?
Set that up. I think I can set this up where I'd have to do investigating as far as going into picking all a round at a time. But I think we can do it. I'd have to do some work on that. But we'll talk off the show.
Offline, we'll have a
Okay,
chat.
I have a
Offline.
question. What are the requirements?
We haven't got there yet.
Okay.
They have to be wrestlers
Dwayne.
that everybody except Dwayne thinks are great. Because if
32
Dwayne thinks they're great, they're
wrestlers
like
we like.
pre-91.
So Vader is going to win the whole thing.
All right.
So I watched Vader.
Do we
Potato, Ken
think
Shamrock.
Vader? I mean,
People
let's
know
be
Vader.
open. That's all I'm saying. But do we think Vader could absolutely kick the shit out of literally all the other wrestlers in history?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Besides
I
Haku.
gotta disagree.
I don't know. About
I gotta disagree.
Everybody in here, I already know
Look at
Redmond
Mark's
thinks,
over here farting
he
everywhere.
thinks probably Haku, maybe Billy Riley.
That's me. I'm right there with him. I'm with Haku.
All right. I'm putting a pin in this. We're running short on time.
Don't put a pin in nothing.
So
Okay.
Keith, we will have you on for the Barry Horowitz show.
Is
in
that
May.
next show?
Guys.
No, it's not until May.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. Yep. And thank you for letting me join in tonight. I appreciate it.
Right on, man.
Thanks
Thanks
for
for all
your
your
time,
all
brother.
your input, man.
Yeah, we need to get to our WrestleMania.
Hey,
memories.
just a
Yeah.
quick
And,
plug. If anybody out there is listening, you can tune into CHL or CHLradio.com to hear the podcast each and every week in case you missed any of the show tonight right here on Jumping the Rail. And make sure you tell all your friends about it, too.
And if you tune in to that same thing he just said, you can listen to a whole lot other stuff, and it's worth it. Local,
Yes. Thank you, sir.
local being like Illinois local musicians, backroom lounge sessions, interviews, and live acoustic performances you will not hear anywhere else.
What about the channel where I read from Harry Potter for 24 hours
That's coming up
straight?
soon.
That's
That's
coming.
Is it in a British accent?
It's called Harry Peter and read by Mike
And the Sorcerer's Bone?
Denarge. Yeah, the Sorcerer's Stone. It's
And,
a 24-hour channel where I just read.
And
Yeah.
apparently
Great.
today, the Narge-tastic Voyage became pseudo-famous.
Yes,
I guess so.
Pro Wrestling T said, check this out.
they did. Our
big
unboxing
time, baby.
videos. Yeah, they shared a little screenshot of us. I mean, you can't see our faces. We look like Wilson from Home Improvement.
Well, I mean,
but,
you have a face for radio.
Heidi ho.
Hey, now.
All right.
Anyway, thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Keith,
man.
Take care.
All right.
Later, Keith.
So,
Moving
gonna-
right along.
all right. So we're gonna go to wrap this up. I mean,
WrestleMania.
we're running a little bit late, but we got a late start.
Who cares?
Yeah,
We're
we
having a
did.
great time.
So we're gonna
I'm having a ball.
Let's
so
talk WrestleMania.
Let's talk
memories.
WrestleMania.
I don't want to hear what you're doing with the ball, Dwayne.
So
Redmond's trying to go home. He's
No,
got things
no,
to
no.
do.
Well,
hey,
you're-
you shut your mic down and leave. We'll talk.
no, that's fine. I can go on. I'm like Ric Flair, man. I can go all night.
Like Space Mountain. Woo! Everybody gets a ride.
Oldest ride, longest line, as they say.
I rode space.
The line's long because the ride keeps breaking down. They need to fix it.
Dwayne, what did you ride?
I rode Space Mountain 4 times in one day.
Ric Flair appreciates it. Woo! Woo!
No, seriously, I was at
Did you really know a guy named Space Mountain?
No, seriously. I was involved in a youth group when I was in high school, my senior year in high school. We went to Orlando, the
Florida?
yeah, exactly.
We've heard of that
Florida.
place.
Orlando Jordan.
We spent,
Orlando, where meth comes true.
we spent a week in Florida, and our last day there, we went to Orlando and went to Disney World, and I stood in line and rode Space Mountain 4 times.
And he wooed every single
Wooing all
time.
the while.
Who did? Him or Space Mountain? Space Mountain like, woo, Dwayne's here.
All right. So we're gonna
I'm thinking Family Guy moments now.
so we're gonna Joe Hammerslow segue it right to
We're going to
I am
segue
in
the
a
fuck
pick.
out. I'm about to hammer this shit out,
We're gonna
man.
hammer it out. So,
Hey!
so we don't have a show until coming up before WrestleMania. So we're gonna get into a little bit of this, and I think we're still gonna try and do a kickoff, like a pregame, like we did for Dynamite.
Oh, dude, the WrestleMania. We should tell the fans now. We are going to do a. So WrestleMania is happening on April 2 and April 3. Is that right?
Yes, Saturday and
Correct.
Sunday.
Correct.
So some of you know, some of you don't know. Don't give a shit. April 2nd, we collectively, the 3 of us plus whoever
Sorry,
the fuck
Dwayne.
tags
Actually,
along
I,
with us,
I won't be there.
whoever tags along with us, we're gonna go see. We're gonna go see this Jericho guy. You guys might have heard of him.
Chris
Chris
Judas.
Jericho?
Judas.
And
Oh,
his,
yes.
and this
Chris
weird band
Judas.
his, which is Fuck Ozzy or Fozzy. I don't know what they call themselves.
Fozzy.
But
Any
we're
chance I
gonna
can
see
do my
them.
Danhausen impression, I'm gonna jump through.
There you go.
Very
We're
nice.
Very nice, very evil.
We're gonna see Fozzy on the 2nd. So we're gonna queue up WrestleMania. We're actually gonna come back here to Champaign from Chicago, and
Aurora.
Home of Wayne and Garth.
anybody listening besides us knows it's still Chicago.
There's no gasworks in Aurora. That's pissed me off when I moved there.
There's no donut. Stan
There's no Stan
McKee's.
Makitas. There's no gasworks.
you lived in Aurora?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I did.
Anyways, we're going to do that. We're going to come back on Sunday the 3rd, most likely hungover shit. Nard especially, because he's leaving at 8 in the morning to come back to do some
Well, I got to do a
dad
baseball
shit.
game, so I'm going to
You
miss
got
half
dad
of
shit.
whatever you guys are
You got
doing.
dad shit.
Hey.
So we're even for the Rumble.
That's it.
Yeah.
But we are going to find a way to at least throw a lot of live shit at you for WrestleMania.
We should move this little camera
A
up
lot.
there and do a live
stream.
live reaction.
Yeah, we have that. We have a camera up there for that too.
Oh,
He has
that's the one I
Everybody
flipped
know where
off.
the cameras
That's
are?
the one I flipped off.
We don't
last
want
week.
everybody to know where the cameras are. But so
dates.
if you're listening and you're into if you're into WrestleMania, we are going to be balls deep. Fucking guy. We're going to be balls deep in WrestleMania.
Balls
and
deep
we hope
in
you guys
Sky.
are
Who
listening.
is Sky?
If nothing, you can laugh along. But if you see WrestleMania Saturday and then you go to Sunday, understand we're 3 hours behind you at that very moment.
No spoilers on the Facebook page.
Yeah,
if
please
you
don't.
please.
Yeah,
Please
we don't
don't.
want to hear about Steve Austin whooping ass all night Saturday. So
You know that's going to happen regardless, right?
it is. Oh, there you are.
Stone Cold is going to open up a can of whoop ass.
I have high hopes for Steve Austin.
Yeah.
I think it's more than a beatdown.
Hey,
It's-
Narge, are we going to get the
I was
Broken
just getting
Skull
high
American
hoping for
Lager?
Steve.
What is that? The high hard one?
Are we going to get the Broken Skull American Lager at some point and try that?
At some point, I searched.
It's got to be better than the IPA.
The IPA tastes like dirt.
Everything is better than the IPA.
The next time
IPA is bullshit. It stands for it. Hang on a minute. All right, we'll come up with an acronym for IPA
it
later.
passes
It's
his ass.
piss assholes.
It's piss assholes. There you go, right there. We now have an acronym for IPA. If you like IPA beers, it's piss asshole.
I found it in Indy the last time I was through, so I think
Indy
we gotta
piss
go to
asshole.
Indy. Brownsburg of all places, home of the White Castle.
I love White
The
Castle,
Vomit
by the way.
Castle.
White Castle's fantastic.
Holy
Duane.
shit. We went to that fucking Kegel show and we ate fucking that shit.
We split a
Unreal.
30-pack, a 60-pack of
That
ciders.
goddamn van smelled like ass. I mean, onions in White Castle for 3 weeks.
I've seen the women.
Six
I-
gassy
hey,
fellows with
hey,
White Castles.
I've seen the women you bring home. That ain't the first time it smelled like onions.
Hey.
Yeah, but I earned that.
All right, so we're again flying off the rails here.
Hey,
That's our job. We don't jump off the rail. We jump and we float.
so
we never pointed this
What
out.
did
though.
you do, Duane?
Dwayne broke fucking something. You know who gave us a shout out and said they loved the name of our show?
I do, but I'll bet the people would love to hear it.
The people. Terry Brunk himself, the homicidal, suicidal, genocidal, madman from Sudan. No, that's Abdullah Butcher. Sabu actually commented on Facebook. He saw our group and he thought Jumping the Rail was just a fantastic name for a podcast. He actually agreed to come on. I don't know if he remembers that, but Sabu did agree to come onto our show at some
Wait,
point.
Sabu?
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 Not Abu. Sabu.
The Sabu?
Are you
He's Sabu.
serious?
Yes.
Oh,
He
my
commented-
We got
God.
I was
Dwayne, stop doing that. You're in a room with a bunch of guys. Stop now. Don't pull on it again.
Dwayne, we were in Chicago for Chris Cagle, and I'd had a couple of drinks. And
What?
Just a couple. And
We identify a couple as not 1 and not 17.
we were riding home, and I was like, "Holy shit, Mark! Look at this." Terry Brunk doesn't mean nothing to anybody else, but it means something to us, and it was Sabu. He
It was like a backseat masturbatorium going on.
yes, it was like all that. But he did. He said, "Jumping
I
the
kept
rail."
telling him not to hit me in the back of my head with that wet shit again.
What happens when you hit him in the back of the head and you smack him? What's that called? That's
It's a reboot. Yeah, it's Windows happening again.
I have no idea.
But Sabu thought it was an awesome name for a podcast. He loved it. He said he's not very good at podcasts, but he'd love to come on. So
I wonder if we could
That-
maybe
I
get.
guess we have Sabu coming on
That
at
would
some
be
point
awesome.
I
soon.
wonder if we could get Fonzie on with him.
no.
Sabu is a true
Hey, you are
legend
Fonzie's
in-
new
in the
BFF.
business.
You
I
got to
mean,
reach out and tell him.
I mean, you and Bill are. I mean, you've been exchanging messages
Oh, yeah.
and
He
gift
calls me daddy on a
cards
regular
and-
basis.
Love
Y'all
letters.
exchange
I
gift
don't
cards
know,
and flowers every other week.
They got
I assume that's right.
There was a Valentine gram in there too. I heard.
A V-gram?
Yeah.
Sabu's like the godfather of hardcore or something.
He's up there.
you know.
His uncle is the original
Sheik,
king
yeah,
of hardcore.
The original Sheik, yeah.
Yes.
All right. Moving on.
All right, let's get it back into
Moving
WrestleMania.
right along.
So, I do have a top 10 Tuesday tailored for WrestleMania. We can get into that now, or we can get into the regular discussion. It's up to you, fellas.
I
Wait a
think
minute.
we- I
Get
think-
into what? We did what?
I'm good either way.
I think we should
So
go around
number
the table.
10,
Wait,
10.
No, I think we should go around the table.
Okay.
All right, then.
We don't have to get into it. Favorite WrestleMania of all time. Not moment, just overall
Okay.
WrestleMania and why. Real quick. Make it 30 seconds.
Okay.
Boom.
Marco.
Never, ever. I mean,
Whatever
what was the
one was at his house.
Yeah, exactly.
That was great.
That was the best one. You know why it was the best one?
'Cause we were
I
here.
had
That
all
was
you
awesome.
fuckers here
That was
and had a
awesome.
blast.
I had
But
a
honestly,
ball.
I mean, if I was going to go and think about something that mattered more to me when it came to WrestleManias, it was probably one of them that involved the Hulk.
Which is number 1 with Mr. T.
That would be the
Done.
one.
Right?
You know what? Let's start. Menders, we're going to start with you since you're still on the line with us.
Menders, go. Which
Favorite
WrestleMania?
All right. Favorite WrestleMania is 17.
She's
Huge
only
Hardy's Edge
17.
Christian, 3D, Dudley Boys, and the Gimmick Royal Rumble was my favorite ever.
I love the gimmick Royal
I
Rumble.
loved it.
I loved it.
My wife hates when I do the brother love voice, so that's why
I
did
wish they do it again. I know everybody thought it was a clusterfuck.
I thought
which
it was
we'll
good.
see in 2 weeks.
The
but
poor Iron Sheik couldn't move.
The whole reason he won it.
There's gonna be a Hogan at
Yeah,
Squirt
that's the whole reason he
Circle
won, because
Expo.
he couldn't take a bump. That's a great call. Let's see. Narge, why don't you go
I will.
next? I'll bet I know what it
It's
is.
easy. I got the jacket. I wear any chance I can.
Mm-hmm.
As a kid, there were no two greater powers in the universe than the Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan.
Zigo.
And when they collided in Toronto at WrestleMania 6, the greatest... I mean, I've watched that WrestleMania more than any other pay-per-view ever, just to see the passing of what we thought was the torch. It wasn't.
Yeah, Hogan wouldn't let that happen.
Warrior wasn't ready.
Well, that's true, too.
But it was just, I mean, think back how often they take two just massive baby faces and say, have at it.
That was the first time I remember.
I mean, the crowd was split. You know, I mean, who do you pick? As a kid, I was a Warrior fan. As I grow older, I knew that Hulk Hogan is a legitimate reason that there are so many professional wrestling fans today. WrestleMania 6, my favorite WrestleMania of all time. Nothing else will ever come close.
Okay.
Yep.
That's a very well-reasoned response.
Brother.
Favorite match, I'm guessing, was Tito Santana and the Barbarian?
Were they on that show?
Yeah.
I always fast forward to the end. No, I really like Mach and Dusty. That was good.
The mixed tag, yeah.
That was fun. Rude and Superfly. There's so many good ones. You had Haku and Andre against Demolition.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Just the whole show was just great. It was,
Yeah.
It's just a who's who of
We had
1980s awesomeness.
DDP driving Rhythm and Blues to the ring in his
Yeah.
pink Cadillac.
The Hammer with his black hair,
Yep.
But now Hogan Warrior, I mean, kicking out of each other's finish, the double clothesline. Warrior loses all his paint. I can't remember any other time where Warrior didn't have all his paint was gone. I mean, they literally put it all out there.
Mm-hmm.
The rumor from what I read years ago was that Hogan was supposed to heel turn that night. That was they wanted that.
I heard that.
But at the end, he shook his hand. He gave him the belt.
Stole his thunder.
Had the big hug.
The big hug, man.
All right.
Should have waffled him with the belt.
Duane, favorite WrestleMania and why?
I'm right behind Narge, and my favorite is WrestleMania 5, where the Mega Powers exploded.
I remember that match. Savage kicked Hogan's ass on that show.
Actually, Hogan won that match.
He won, but he still got his ass kicked.
Anyway,
Savage got a belt because the Hulkster helped him out. I don't understand.
Because Hogan had to get his jollies and steal his thunder, and it's a whole argument I don't need to get into again. Everybody knows my position on
I
this.
now know which one was my actual favorite.
anyway, growing up, living with your mom and dad, they're really tight on money, so you really couldn't afford the
I didn't live with your mom and dad.
pay-per-view, added to the cable bill. So WrestleMania 5 was the very first WrestleMania that I was actually able to see live.
You were there?
No, I wasn't there. I watched it live.
Closed circuit television.
Pay-per-view.
The only good thing Trump ever did.
So, and that Hogan and Macho Man match was awesome, And I think I got to disagree with you on this one, Redmond. Hogan was not the heel. Savage was.
Keep in mind, I'm your ride.
Okay, you're right. But seriously,
Keep in mind, it's just 2.1 miles.
But
Or Uber.
we got into this a little bit earlier, and Macho, he was a psycho, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
He was a psychologist?
Now 5, we got Rude and Warrior, right?
Yeah.
They had an actual match that
Right.
night. I love
Great
that
match.
one.
Great match.
Heenan held the boot. And,
Oh, Heenan.
yep.
He's a rascal.
I'm a Rude fan though, so Dwayne, I got no problem with 5 either. No problem.
19.
19?
I think that's. Did I read that?
What
right?
happened
That's
there?
19, right?
WrestleMania 19 from Seattle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that Hulk?
The Rock
That's
beat
Rock and Austin.
Steve
The
Austin,
final match.
and hang
was
on
a
a
good
minute.
one.
All the other results that mattered. Hang on a minute.
You know
Brock
that.
Lesnar and Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle,
Kirk or
the
Brock
real wrestler. Brock Lesnar,
snapped
the
his
real
neck.
wrestler, and they went at it. I mean, that's pretty impressive, right?
It was a great match. Brock fucked up, about killed himself, but yeah,
Yeah, I remember that.
been eating soup
But
out of
that
a straw.
that was when Steve Austin, his beer can 316, all that shit. That was when The Rock's like, "No, bitch, I'm here,"
Yep.
because they'd been battling for years. Like they were the Hulk and Macho of their generation.
This was the rubber match.
right, and this was the one that The Rock won. And I think that was the one that kind of let him kick his leg down and go, "Boom, I'm going to the movie show now."
Yep.
Pretty much.
So that would be it for me. 19.
Redman.
I had to look at all the XIX, the Roman numerals. Like, how's that work? Okay, it's
I can't
19.
wait for you to say the Playboy Pillow Fight WrestleMania. That's the
That
one.
was that one.
That was that one.
Speaking of
that's
numerals,
your favorite.
Speaking of numerals, they don't even use the numerals.
Wait, no, that was-
anymore.
Did you
Bud Light
notice I
girls.
wasn't even thinking about the women?
But no, the pill fight was 20, I think. But actually, I'm with Menders. I'm saying 17.
A lot of folks love the 17.
I mean, number one, it was the
It
first
was pretty
one.
great.
It was the first one after since WrestleMania 8 that seemed like a big spectacle because it was in the Astrodome.
Aren't you the guy with the top 10?
Yeah.
You can't agree with her. You just can't give away the answer.
No, the top
We gotta
10's
go to the
different.
rest. Oh,
Top
okay.
10's
Okay, fine.
have
we're not on
another
the- we're not on
drink,
the top 10.
Marco. Jeez.
But no, WrestleMania 17, number one, first match on the show's Regal and Jericho. I mean, come on, how do you top that?
All I give a shit is Lemmy was there.
And Motorhead was there, yes. Triple H and Undertaker had a classic on that show.
Yep.
Rock and Austin, I didn't care for the Austin heel turn. That's really the only thing that really rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
The TLC match was the best TLC match there ever was, I think, with those three teams. Benoit and Angle. I mean, there's not Benoit and Kurt Angle.
Who the hell's Chris? Who's Benoit?
Benoit, that'd be the Chris guy.
We
We
can't
can
talk about
say
him.
his name in a professional wrestling
We
sense.
don't talk about Benoit.
You got a mouse in your pocket?
It's like Bruno.
We don't talk about
But
him.
but going through that whole card, there's not a bad match on
That's
that show.
that's a T-shirt. We don't
What?
talk about
That was-
Benoit. You play off the Disney Bruno.
And
That is
you
a
play
jump-
off the WWE.
Yeah,
like,
it's a
oh,
jump-
I'm sorry about that motherfucker being that guy he was.
We don't. That's a jumping the rail shirt. We don't talk about Benoit.
Oh my God, I'll design it. Jumping the rail. We don't talk about Benoit.
But we do.
No, we don't.
I do.
Well, you do. Well, we don't.
Don't talk about his grisly end, but we talk about his great wrestling
Hey,
career.
shout out to Justin King. He's listening in.
I-
Anybody knows
No.
who that is?
Hey, Justin, you're really listening. When are you going to respond to my 14,000 messages going, "Hey, come on the show with us, brother"?
You and your brother.
Hey,
Well, no, I just one or the other. I don't give a shit. We're friends.
Hey,
Bring them both on. We'll have a blast.
Justin and Robert were great guys. I knew them before
Were.
they were famous. I mean,
You
they
know what?
still
You
are.
know what?
I don't
You
know
know
them
what? You know what?
anymore.
I know Justin and Robert simply from Radmakers and what's that place in Savoy we do karaoke all the time?
Senators.
Senators. I know those guys from there, and I know.
I knew them
and-
before you.
Yeah, I know you did, but
I
I
know
am
forever.
older, so it took me
They're-
longer to catch up.
Talk
But
about
they're
two
great guys.
Talk about two guys who just busted their ass to get somewhere.
Work the fuck out, man. They
Robert and
just
Justin
push.
both. Two great guys. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, busted their ass to get where they were. Where they,
And they can
Jesus
sing their
Christ.
ass off.
And they NWA the other night.
yeah.
So
I used to see Robert and Justin at Memphis on Main back in the day for karaoke, and they can sing their ass off. Trust me.
Yeah, well, Memphis on Main all the time. And now one of them, and I'm sorry, you're listening and I'm wrong, but one of them did a pro wrestling stint. Like he kept going like overseas, like India.
That's
or-
Justin.
That was Justin?
Yes.
Okay. So is Justin still doing the wrestling thing and Robert is the police officer in Farmer City?
Well, actually, they're both doing the referee thing in wrestling. Robert is with NWA.
But one of them is a lot less active than the other. One is like very active. The other one is I have a day job and I do this when I can.
That would be Robert. He's the
Okay.
He's a
police officer,
police
right?
officer,
Okay, all right.
yes,
Cool,
yes.
cool.
But he also
Yes.
does
And
NWA.
I'm sorry,
Yes,
guys.
he
We are
also does NWA.
literally putting your business on blast on our. But dudes, come on,
What
man.
if he's
We've been
undercover?
friends for years.
You've just blown his
You know
cover.
what? If he's undercover in his own name, he should change police departments because they don't know how to do undercover. His name is supposed to be Phil Smith. Oh shit! I just outed him, didn't I?
Oh, no.
Phil is out. Dude, that was the best sound effect tonight.
Thank you.
Fuck the bullshit. That was great.
I love my soundboard. It gives me a personality. All right.
Something has to.
All right, so we're going to move on. Narge made a quick pit stop. He'll be back in, but we'll keep going until he
He's
comes
out
back.
of tequila.
Duane, I'm going to ask you, what is your favorite, and I'm not even saying greatest, because that'll happen in the list.
Hang on a minute.
What is
Dwayne, where the fuck's the whiskey?
It's
Look at
in
that.
your belly.
The empty bottle's in front of Dwayne. Dwayne drank all our whiskey.
That means he has to buy you more.
Narge was the one that just drank it last.
And I just blame it on Tequila Narge. He don't drink whiskey.
whiskey
He drinks
Narge.
tequila.
It's Whiskey Narge.
No, I'm whiskey.
All right, so Duane,
I don't know.
I'm not asking for greatest. What is your favorite WrestleMania match?
That would be Shawn Michaels and the Undertaker when the Undertaker won and Shawn Michaels retired. That match.
So 26.
Yes.
Not 25.
Yes,
See,
26.
a lot of people say 25.
Well, actually, they're both really
They're
good.
both
26 is the new 25.
That's what I heard.
Well, actually, they're both really good, but if I have to pick one, it's going to be 26.
See, I would pick 25 over 26, but there's not a wrong answer there. It's awesome. Narge, favorite WrestleMania match. Not greatest, just favorite. And don't say Hogan Warrior.
Okay, well, shit. Hogan Warrior generally. If I had to pick another one, 14, Austin,
HBK.
Shawn Michaels.
Man, people don't give Michaels enough credit. He was hurting in
He
that
was
match.
hurt? Man,
He was about to, you think he was about to cry in that match.
it was
from
just
the pain.
It was such a passing. I think everybody knew what was coming.
Mm-hmm.
But to get there, to have Tyson, the build up to that match alone, maybe greater than any other build up. I think Tyson on Raw was one of the best, maybe the greatest Raw moment of all
Right
time.
after the Rumble with the shove and everything?
Yeah,
Was
where
that
he's trying
before or after he had a snack?
No, this was after. He was released from prison, and I mean, WWE was trying to do him a solid.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, that's why he came on. WWE was trying to do him a solid.
Tyson's a big wrestling fan.
He loves it. Yeah.
So,
Loves
He's a
him
very
some AEW.
muscular wrestling fan.
yes.
We're
I
talking
can
about
kick your ass.
We're talking about Mike Tyson and not Tyson Fury.
We're talking about Cecily Tyson, the actress.
Right. You should see her in a thong.
I'd rather not. Hey, Menders.
You should, though.
What was your favorite match?
Yes.
I haven't got there yet.
Okay.
Yeah, Menders, go, Menders.
Favorite WrestleMania match?
WrestleMania 24, Shawn and Rick.
Ooh. Very, very interesting choice. That's a good match.
I'm sorry.
You do realize, Mark,
Yep.
when you say it's
I
a
love
very
you. I'm
interesting choice, that
sorry.
means you have
Shawn-
no
Shawn
other
Mi-
words. Come on now.
Shawn
Give
Michaels
us more.
looked at Rick and he goes, I love you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was a little cheesy, but the match itself was really good. But yeah,
You ready
it's,
for top 10?
Well, you haven't got to mine yet.
Oh,
Come on, man.
you're doing the top 10.
Okay, what is yours?
My all right. My favorite WrestleMania match is WrestleMania 19, Shawn Michaels
That
versus
was the
Chris
one I said.
Jericho.
Yes, absolutely yes. Because Chris Jericho, the lead singer of Fozzy, was in it.
Yes, and it was a great match. Great blow up to a great feud.
Well, yeah, what led up to that?
It was Jericho basically saying he didn't want to. He started in business wanting to be the next Shawn Michaels, then decided he wanted to be the first Chris Jericho. Jericho's working heel, Michaels is the babyface.
Yeah,
and they just had exchanges over the course of like 6 months until they finally had. They didn't wrestle each other until WrestleMania, and they had where Jericho knocked Michaels out of the Rumble with the chair shot. It was just really well done.
I'm glad nobody said Mr. T and Roddy Piper WrestleMania too.
Oh, the boxing match?
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah,
And I love some Mr. T.
Yeah,
You know.
Sucker.
I pity the fool.
Yep.
All right.
Honorable mention, WrestleMania 10, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, ladder match.
Honorable mention number 2, best match of the show on WrestleMania 10 was Brett versus Owen.
I was about to say Bret Owen. Greatest opening WrestleMania match ever.
Yeah. And Owen won clean. Nobody thought that was going to happen.
No, the little roll up,
The victory roll.
That was fantastic. Yeah.
Hey, man. So your reference to Chris Jericho was
Mm-hmm.
what year?
2003.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. It was 4 years after Fozzy started.
Yes.
Fozzy was
Moon Goose
Fozzy
McQueen.
wins.
All right. So we're going to get to our top 10 before we call it a night because it's getting close to the witching hour. And
You're gonna turn into a pumpkin?
how do you know I'm not
I
already?
got
a pumpkin?
things to do tomorrow.
We're in
Dwayne.
Central Illinois.
Yeah.
You turn into a bumpkin.
I've been a bumpkin, buddy. All right. So our top 10 list this week. Top 10 WrestleMania matches. I'm going greatest this time. Why am I not plugged in?
I have an idea for number 1.
Plug it in. Plug it in.
All right, here we go. My charger was not working, so. All right.
Is it from San Diego?
Yeah. Or Los Angeles. All right. So this is another one of those deals where there's not a wrong spot for any of these, but I'm going to get yelled at for at least 2 of them.
From your brother,
Narge.
probably.
Narge.
Well,
breathe
probably
in.
from you.
Hey, if
Breathe
we
in.
get another heated email from John Redman,
He's got to be on the show soon.
It's
he's got
all
to come
Mark's
on the
fault.
show so we could talk it out right here, man to
Right,
man.
right.
A
The
mano
problem is
a
he's
mano.
going to be in town next week, which is between shows, so he won't be able to come on.
Ah,
He's coming betwixt.
Betwixt,
shows.
yes.
We could do a special edition, but if we did that, we'd have to charge.
We can make that our WrestleMania pregame.
where we just watch all Vader matches for like 2 hours and we critique them.
Did
I want to be
ever
honest
wrestle
here.
Andre?
I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you what, guys. Next Tuesday, a week from today, I have nothing going because I've yet to ramp up these other ideas I have. So I personally am willing to do a pregame for WrestleMania. But you two need to decide if you want to. And our fans that listen all the time have to tell us whether they even give a fuck we do it.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Listen to Dwayne.
So you can check in and log in and listen to us.
Yeah, I'm in as long as John brings the Terramana tequila.
Yes.
Yeah, because Tuesday is tequila day.
And he should
Tequila.
leave. And he should leave at home all his ideas.
Tuesday.
That Macho Man was worth a shit.
I thought you were going to say leave all of his kids at home.
He's got
Well,
like
that'd
30
be helpful.
of them.
They'll
That'd
be
be
at my
helpful.
mom and dad's house. All right,
I mean,
so
my child, my son, he handles Scrappy's business. That's all.
I'll bet he does.
He picked the shit up.
All right. All right, so we're going to get going here. Number 10. Oh, wait, where's my...
There you go.
I got you. You don't need that.
All right, number 10, I got
What's that?
Shawn...
Batman's phone.
Hey, doing business here. Come on. All right, WrestleMania 21, Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle.
Very nice. Very nice. But not great. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You didn't see it.
Proceed.
I heard the names. I know it was better.
Great back and forth on that one. All right, number 9, WrestleMania 20, Triple H versus Shawn Michaels versus Chris Benoit.
Chris Benoit. This was a great match.
Yeah.
Had Benoit not done what he did,
Did Benoit get blown away?
No?
No. Yeah, he won. And
The problem-
confetti and
The only problem is the only issue I had was it was a predictable finish, but it was a great match, though.
him and Eddie at
Right
the end,
over their
one of
heads.
One of a great visual.
Great visual, yeah. All right, number 8. I've got Undertaker versus Triple H, the Hell in a Cell match from WrestleMania 28.
That was an awesome match.
Yep.
That's when
Dwayne,
we all leave together
extrapolate.
with Sean,
The
right?
end of an
Give us
era
more,
match,
Dwayne.
yeah.
Give us more. Go. Why was it awesome?
Why was it awesome?
Yeah, why?
Well,
That guest of the year
Deep
title
subject.
is slipping away.
Don't make me call
Well,
Tyler.
it's a deep subject. Come on,
I knew
Dwayne.
you guys were gonna do this. You,
We-
guys are like
you
walk-
knew- you
walking
knew.
encyclopedias.
Chops will be busted on jumping the rail.
But here's the thing, Dwayne. They're the walking encyclopedias. I am literally challenging you, and I know nothing. I just want to know why
true.
that's your opinion. That's all.
I'll tell you why, Dwayne.
Why?
Because it really wasn't the end of an era. We had 3 guys who were regular roster guys from an era that we love, the Attitude Era, and this was it felt fitting. Like they were kind of the last men standing.
All due
Not
respect to
counting
Colby.
Rock but it was just a great match. You knew, Undertaker went over. How many false finishes?
There was a
in
lot of
that?
false finishes.
A
That
lot.
when Michaels hit the super kick into the pedigree, I thought it was over.
I thought that was it. Yeah, I thought here it is. Streak's over.
And you don't see a referee sell the way Michaels was selling in that match. He
Yep.
looked like his heart was breaking over having to choose a winner in that match.
Yeah.
All right, so
So, Dwayne, is that what your view was?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay, cool.
Dwayne, hand me that bottle. I don't want it to get thrown at me, so I'm going to hold on to that. Pass it over to Marco.
If he says Hogan Warrior, I'm
Number 7.
get the tables.
Oh, here
Dwayne.
we go. Here we go.
WrestleMania 6 Hogan Warrior.
Get the tables, Dwayne.
Hang on a minute. Now, in all fairness, new guy here. Who won?
Hogan. Or Warrior.
Warrior.
Oh, wait a minute. Hang on a minute.
Warrior won.
I know what I heard. I heard who won that. Hogan.
I'm so used to saying Hogan wins because he always wins.
Warrior.
It was Warrior.
So what I heard was
That was a good
Warrior
match.
was handed the victory, but Hogan actually won. Is that accurate?
Hogan got his
They both
thunder at the end.
Honestly, Mark, for me, and I said it a minute ago, and I'll repeat myself. As a kid, there were no two greater wrestlers that I knew at that point.
Exactly.
Right?
WrestleMania 6, what, 1990? I'm 6 years old.
So you're bought the fuck
my
in all the
God.
way.
I was
Hogan, Ultimate Warrior.
These are my guys.
I don't even know who Ric Flair is. At
Ultimate
6
Warrior's
years
got
old.
with
If
the
I'm not
lime
mistaken,
green,
that was
right?
the day before your birthday.
Yeah.
April 1st, 1990.
Yeah.
He
So,
was Ultimate Warrior was all lime green, right? Lime green, like
Oh, a lot of
wristbands.
orange. Orange
Oh,
and yellow.
Who's the guy with
and-
the lime green everywhere?
That was also
Warrior
Warrior on
did
other
that.
days.
Right.
but
lime green was the color I remembered.
and I didn't have pay-per-view, but the VHS cassette at Old Town Video in Westville.
Pose.
It's the ultimate challenge.
The back of your jacket.
The lightning bolts. It's purple. The mountains. Visually, maybe one of the greatest WrestleMania posters of all time.
I challenge you to wear that jacket to the Fozzy concert.
I will do it.
I think the gauntlet has been thrown down.
As long as it's chilly, I'll do it.
All right, number 6. Another one of my favorites. We talked about it a little bit. Brett versus Owen from WrestleMania 10.
Yep.
Number 6.
Number 6. Dude, it's a loaded list, man. All
Well,
right.
what's awesome about that? I mean, I don't want to keep going on and on. I mean, Owen wins, so
Yeah.
you don't know at the
That's
end of
the
the
thing. If
night
Brett
that
won-
Brett is literally going to leave as the champ.
If Brett had won that match, I don't think it would be on the list.
No, Owen has to win.
As a younger brother, you and I are both younger brothers. We love the fact that Owen beat Brett.
Yeah.
When Owen slapped Brett in the face, I was like,
And the thing is Owen was not wrong.
no.
Brett was, Owen was not wrong.
He was living in the shadow of the Hitman.
Yep.
All right. Number 5, and this is going to get me some heat with a lot of people, I think. WrestleMania 3, Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat. I got number 5.
Yeah,
High on the
that's too
list.
low, bro. That's way too low, in my opinion. I think that should be at least number in the top 3.
I said high, but I agree. Yeah, maybe a little higher.
Do you
there.
know
That's
why I have it so low?
fantastic.
Why?
The finish.
Mm.
George the Animal Steel interfered in that match and helped Ricky Steamboat win the match.
Okay.
Okay.
He took the knocked
True story.
He
So there
knocked
was some
Savage off the
cheating
top
going
rope.
on.
There was
Little
some
cheating going on.
But yeah,
That
George
sucks.
knocked Randy off the top rope and he landed on the bell, knocked himself silly.
You know
And then-
why George did that?
Because he's a
Because Randy Savage is a control
He-
freak
because-
and won't let Elizabeth
because
do
he's a-
her goddamn thing.
He's a primitive beast. I've said it before and I'll say it again. All right, number
George
4.
and Hogan got it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Number 4. All right, I do want to get a George Animal Steel T-shirt from the old days.
Yeah.
Is he still alive?
He is passed on, sadly. Jim Myers, rest in peace. Number 4, I mentioned it earlier, Jericho versus Michaels from WrestleMania 19. Just wall to wall, just a great match. Great back and forth. You didn't know who was going to win. Michaels got the flash pin at the end, and Jericho got his heat back.
Yeah.
Just good
That's
stuff.
good. I can't wait for Earthquake Atom Bomb WrestleMania 10. That's coming, right?
That was barely a match.
Oh.
That's right. That's right behind Red Rooster versus Bobby Heenan.
How about Vince McMahon and Bret Hart?
No.
No.
Also garbage.
All right. Number 3.
I was being sarcastic.
I would hope so. All right. Number 3. Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 26.
Yes, I agree.
Great.
An excellent match.
That's the
Excellent
second one.
match.
That's
Yes.
the one Michaels retired.
Yeah, that was an excellent match in my
Great
opinion.
match. All right. Number 2. Another one of my. I could have easily said this was my favorite WrestleMania match. Austin versus Brett from 13, the submission match.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that really set Steve Austin up on the trajectory.
And it got Brett that over the top with the heel turn too.
Yep. Austin passing out. Couldn't have been better.
Yeah, Shamrock is the
That's-
referee.
Yes.
Just good stuff.
Hey, talk about a guy who deserves to go in the Hall of Fame.
Shamrock?
Yep.
I agree with that.
That's a discussion for maybe next Tuesday.
Dwayne, what do you think?
Hey, if we bring...
About
wait a
Shamrock
minute.
going to the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, wait. I think if we bring John on next, we talked about this. We need to do a Hall of Fame discussion.
I'd be okay with that.
Okay.
Make it part of the pregame.
I think we should all come with 3. We've done this before, but 3. See, I can't pick Vader no more. So now I got to come up with 3 more.
3 people that are not in the Hall of Fame that
need
deserve to be.
And-
Vader's going in.
Okay.
Now, do
should-
we exclude AEW talent because
Why?
they wouldn't be able to come accept it anyway.
Okay, so how about we create a Jumping the Rail Hall of Fame? How about we do that? We have a Jumping the Rail, and you can pick from it. And we automatically induct everybody that's already in one of the Halls of Fame. We say, you know what, you're there.
And then
we choose to bring you, because then we can people like Effie.
Then we can pick whoever.
Nick Gage.
Right?
the pain train. The pain train.
Yeah, pain
Yeah,
train.
we could pick the pain train. I mean, we could do it. Nobody
Somebody's
else
got to.
We could nominate. We could nominate the pain train.
All right.
But the viewing, voting public,
Duke Grossi for me.
they would treat him like Barry Bonds.
David Arquette.
Barry Horowitz.
Hey,
all right.
Narge.
Yeah.
Think we talk Jason V into being in it?
Jason V, the fabulous Jason Vendetta. I bet I'd put him in. He's first ballot
What
all
about
day.
Titty Nashville?
Titty Nashville. Oh, Titty goes
dear
in
Lord.
easily.
I just want to be clear. Titty, all by itself, wins. But if it's got a twin sister and they're now titties, they win big.
Titty Nashville.
What about Spike Dudley?
Hey, we can't do this today.
Didn't we talk about
Wait
that
a
guy
week.
earlier and nobody else gave a fuck?
Dwayne's pining to get on next week.
He really wants to be part of this shit.
He's our Dennis Stamp. He's wanting the booking. All right. So we still have a number one, and
Oh. Mine's better.
WrestleMania 25,
Number
Undertaker
one.
versus Shawn Michaels. Just
Whoa, man.
perfect match.
Yeah.
My number
Oh,
one.
I saw him say it so loud he had to roll away from the mic so he didn't make our ears bleed. He was like, "Oh fuck you, you're wrong." I saw that. Go ahead, Dwayne. Real quick, tell us why he's wrong, because we got to hear this.
Please tell me why you're wrong.
Number one, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, WrestleMania 3.
You know what?
If
yes.
it was Andre from 1981, maybe.
Boom.
Dwayne, I don't have a problem with that being on the list.
What was
Again,
WrestleMania 3? What year?
87?
At the
Oh, 6 years
Pontiac
later.
Silverdome.
Hey, by
A
the way,
very-
there
a
was
very
no
hobbled Andre.
WrestleMania that year.
What?
In 81, there
No,
was
I mean,
no
give me
WrestleMania.
Andre the Giant from 1981
Yeah, but-
against Hogan.
But how many opportunities did Andre and Hulk have in the WrestleMania area? It was the third WrestleMania and they got together. What was WrestleMania 1? It was who?
Hogan and Mr.
Hogan
T
and Mr.
against
And who was
Piper
number
and
2? And who was number 2?
Piper and Orndorff. Hogan and
Hogan
Bundy.
and Bundy.
Okay, so number 3 was
Both those Andre was a
Hogan
babyface.
And
and
Andre.
Andre.
They wasted Andre
I'm
at
sorry, man.
WrestleMania too. He was in the football player battle royal thing. They wasted him.
As a guy that doesn't know shit about shit, but I agree with Dwayne because Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan at that point in time were the two
No, it should be on the
giants.
list. That's one I agree with. Rebin, Flair, Savage, 8.
Too much interference from Perfect.
Okay. That's all I care. I wanted to hear.
Yep.
Piper, Brett, same show.
Yeah, that was a good match.
Okay. The TLC.
Right.
You don't chase waterfalls, those people?
We're
There's so
talking
many. I give Redman credit. Picking a top 10 WrestleMania is almost impossible.
It'd be easier to do a top 100.
Well,
Yes.
it's very subjective. So, like, everybody listening is like, yeah. Are you fucking crazy? Yeah, Are you nuts?
I mean,
you know-
no, I would never.
You know,
pick
we
that.
talked
I don't
about-
care. I don't care how many WrestleManias we do. We could be, like you said, the top 100, the top 50. It don't matter. It's still going to be Andre and Hogan number one.
That's ultimately the
Wow,
visual.
Dwayne has bought the fuck.
Hey,
listen, Dwayne is like, bitch, listen.
The thing is, he's not wrong. That's the visual. When you think WrestleMania, I think
One
you
of
think
them.
of
Yeah,
Hogan
I
slamming
agree.
on.
I agree.
I mean, there are so many great moments. I was
Was
just
that
thinking-
moment? Was that moment that piece of time? So like 1 and 2, they were like tests, right? When you look at the history of WrestleMania, they said, "Oh, we'll do this thing. It's called WrestleMania. We'll see it." And the first 1 or 2, they had buy-in from the fans. But was not the third WrestleMania the first where they brought
Three's really
in
where it
the
took off.
non-fans,
Yeah.
like were like outsiders went, holy shit, what are these guys doing? And then they got this marquee event of those two guys, and may or may not, some of them thought, oh, that's the guy from Princess Bride.
There's
and
something-
that guy's from Rocky 3.
There's something
And
to be said.
That kind of drew them in.
There's something to be said that it was the greatest draw ever because they drew 93,000 people to the
Right.
Silverdome. But just
Actually,
the match itself.
I heard that
just
was
didn't do it for me.
debatable, but that's neither here nor there.
I was in
It's tight and
Texas.
counting.
I was in Texas at 32, which broke the record, and this year I'll probably break it. So
Well, I mean, you were there in a building that holds like 4 million people.
yeah, but I broke the record until
Can I just make
until
one
next
little
weekend.
point?
Oh, go
Sure.
ahead, Menders.
Why is it that none of the favorite matches ever include when they bring in celebrities, and yet this year we're stuck with so many celebrities being in this WrestleMania match?
Well, they've always done celebrities at WrestleMania.
They can't top
They've always
anything they've
done
done
one
before.
or
That's all.
two. They haven't done as many as they're doing this year.
How many are they doing this year? Just 2, right?
We got Knoxville, we got Logan Paul.
Yeah,
Is that
I got
it?
those. That's the 2 I got.
That's
Well,
all they have, as far as I know.
Knoxville's there for fucking comedic relief. I mean,
He's there to
let's
plug
be
a
honest.
movie.
He is just
That's
there
what
to go,
they're all there
I have a
for."
movie. No. Logan Paul actually believes his bullshit, and I hope somebody knocks him the fuck out.
I'll tell
I
you
don't
what.
care where. I don't care if it's on the street or in a ring or in the WrestleMania or in Hollywood or just like, fucking going to the bank and the bank teller says, fuck you, get out of here. I don't care. That guy's a cocky piece of shit.
They will all fail in comparison to last year's
Bunny.
Bad Bunny's performance. Bad Bunny,
I actually had another list
Bad
I was
Bunny was
working on
awesome.
for best celebrity performances, but I didn't get to that one.
Bad Bunny has to be number. I mean, he's.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
it
agree
was
with that.
top
perfect.
three.
I will
Top
agree.
three.
I will
Perfect.
agree. I will agree.
I won't
Hey.
agree. I'm going to agree to disagree.
Turn your phone down.
Well, Mindy,
Tell your mom to stop calling.
who's your greatest celebrity then? Bad Bunny. I mean, that was awesome.
So it's not just matches. It's overall like appearance. Like if
Right on.
Bad Bunny's up there. He's my number 2.
Right. And I don't really have a favorite celebrity that's been there. I mean,
Dwayne's
it's just-
cardiologist called. They want to tell me he has no heart.
Snooki.
to me,
It's not Snooki.
that's not what WrestleMania is about. It's about the wrestlers. So
No,
it
it's
kills
about-
me.
It's always
about
been
business.
about. It's always been about the spectacle. That's why you had Liberace and Muhammad Ali and Cyndi Lauper at the first
Billy.
one. Dwayne is ashamed because his phone rang.
His cardiologist called. He has no heart.
What would you have at number? Or do you want to do?
That's
going
going
to
to save you a lot on copays, I promise.
Actually, I don't have them ranked. I have the 10. I don't have them in order yet. But I would have Bad Bunny up there. I'll just run them down.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
quick.
Uh,
We'll finish the show on an unofficial top 10.
unofficial. It's a bonus WrestleMania top 10. All right. So if I'm just going by what it says here, number 10, I got Butterbean from WrestleMania 15.
Yep.
Knocked
And
the
also
fuck out
from
of Bart
a
Gunn.
Nintendo game, right? Butterbean?
Yeah.
Yep. See?
Knocked out Bart Gunn in record time in the Brawl for All.
Oh, see, Tyson's going to be
So
number
dumb.
one.
All right. Number 9, I got Motorhead from WrestleMania 17. Put his headphones on for him.
You have Motorhead or Lemmy?
Motorhead.
They played.
The band played
Okay. All right.
twice.
All right.
Oh, Limp Bizkit's number one.
Oh,
Limp dog shit? Really?
no way. All right. Number 8, I got 8. I got Pete Rose.
Oh.
For WrestleMania 14 through 16.
He got tombstone
I bet he
by
didn't bet
Kane.
on it. I bet he did not bet on it.
You
I
bet.
bet he did not bet
I
on
got
it.
Tombstone by Kane twice.
What list are we doing, by the way? I missed it.
Oh, you missed
A
it.
list of people
All
that
right.
you haven't heard of.
Top 10.
I mean,
I
7.
got top 10 WrestleMania celebrity performances.
Okay.
Number 10, I got Butterbean. Number 9, I got Motorhead. Number 8, I got Pete Rose. Number 7, I got Floyd Mayweather. WrestleMania 24
Oh yeah, I remember that.
when he fought Big Show.
Pound for pound, the best pound for pound fighter in the world, except everybody in wrestling is at least 100 pounds bigger than him.
All right. Number 6, William Perry, WrestleMania 2.
The fridge. The fridge.
Number 5, I've got Bob Uecker, WrestleMania 3. Yeah. And 4,
Just a bit outside.
I'm a big Uecker fan. So
Way
he had to
outside.
be-
That guy's legend, man.
I'm waiting on number one.
You know what? I literally, this is a weird side story, but I literally go on Wikipedia like every other week or month. I'm not sure but to see he's still alive, because I'm like, that guy was like older back when Major League came out.
Yep.
Right.
And I was like, that guy's legendary. And his
90-ish.
delivery is amazing. And he is still
doing baseball.
calling games for the Milwaukee Brewers
Yep.
now. And I'm like, how the fuck you still doing this?
and he's still trying to get in the front row.
No. He's been in the front
He
row
is
for years.
88 years old.
Must
88.
be on the I must be in the front row, but
All right.
that guy is legend.
All right. Number 4, I got Mr. T.
Oh, yeah.
That should be number one in my opinion.
Nope.
Clubber
The boxing
Lang.
match really diminished his.
I love Clubber Lang. I really do, but Rocky did
I
finally
got T.
beat
I got
his
T for
ass.
WrestleMania 1.
Tyson's number one.
Number 3, I'm getting all these. Number 3, I got Lawrence Taylor, WrestleMania 11.
LT,
Yeah, that
nice.
was, yeah,
Number
he-
56.
that was
Did a hell of a
Nice.
job
yeah,
with Bam Bam
great,
Bigelow.
great job.
Couldn't have put him with anybody better either.
Hell no.
No,
Bam
Bam
Bam was
Bam.
the perfect guy.
Perfect.
All right. Number 3, I put Bad Bunny number 3
I'm okay with
for
that.
wrestling from last
All
year.
right. All
yeah,
right.
I agree with that.
Just he did such a great job in that match.
Performance alone, maybe not impact performance.
Yeah. He really busted his ass and put in the work.
Might even been the best match of the night.
Maybe.
It's close.
All right. Number 2. Where's that number 2?
That might have been 2.
Okay.
Carry it off.
So I'm to number 1. And number 1 is the baddest man on the planet.
The Gwith of all time, baby.
I'm Mike Tyson.
I'm Mike
Number 1.
Tyson, baby. You know.
Mike Tyson, number 1.
Hell yeah.
The biggest impact of all time, Dwayne. Yeah, Dwayne. It was the biggest impact,
The big-
okay?
Dwayne,
I
Dwayne.
throwed up and I told Stone Cold Steve Austin I was going to knock his ass out, but I wasn't. I was on his side.
Listen here, asshole.
I could see him being number 2 and Mr. T number 1. I can see that, but
Oh, that's right.
This
you
is the,
know Mr. T from 85.
The 80s,
you know
yeah.
Mike Tyson from 95. I understand now.
the thing is Mr. T was huge at WrestleMania 1.
Well, there was no bigger TV star than Mr. T in
No,
1985.
but wrestling had never been bigger than when Austin 316 was going on, and then you brought in Mike
biggest-
Tyson, who was a fucking magnet for just attention.
Mike Tyson was the
Oh,
most
yeah.
recognizable athlete's name in the world.
I can't believe Snooki didn't make this list. That's
I
what I'm
can.
saying. So.
Thank God you didn't. I didn't need the
And
snail
honestly,
trail.
she didn't even do a bad job when she had her match. But she was just, just there. She didn't really do much.
All right, so to get close to wrapping up the show, in 2 weeks we have who?
2 weeks, we got Ninja Kamikaze Mac from GCW joining us.
And anybody else? Guest
He's
host?
the guest host. I think we're doing Kyler next week. or
Yeah,
next
Kyler-
episode, right?
Kyler's in.
Okay, all right.
yeah,
Kyler is a
down
Ninja
there,
Mac fan.
Kyler
And then
was
2
awesome.
weeks from that show, we
2
have.
weeks after that, we have Gringo Loco on.
And
nobody yet.
I thought Keith Gibson was
No,
coming.
Keith's doing Barry
Oh,
Horowitz.
he's going down the road a little further. Okay. All right.
Yep.
So,
And then May 3rd, we got Joe Galley from the NWA going to be joining us, the play-by-play man. And
Really?
yeah, that's the one they got you.
Where were you at earlier, Dwayne?
Of all the names I've been dropping here,
Dwayne may have had too much of the.
and then
too much of the American stuff.
and we don't have
So-
anybody for that one yet.
I do
for a guest host.
I do have one question I wanted to ask you guys.
Shoot.
No, we're not that way.
Smart ass.
I don't know.
I knew you were going to be a smart ass tonight. Anyway,
It's my job.
It's a given.
where would you rank the movie Ready to Rumble? Where would you rank that as far as the best wrestling movies of all time?
Stop, timeout, done. Hang on, because you literally segued into something I'm going to offer up as producer Marco. 4 weeks, not next episode, the week after that, the episode after that, because I want these guys to have a little time to think about it, ferment the ideas.
Gringo Loco.
More homework.
Yes, more homework, but this one will not involve so much creativity as a little more thinking and watching, okay? But not the next episode, but the episode after that. I want to know from each of you, and I'll do the same homework too, because I think I know some of the wrestling names. I want to know your top 5 movies starring a wrestler. They do not have to be movies about wrestling at all. Okay? But I want to know, and when I say starring a wrestler, I mean somebody that had a marquee name in wrestling. So like Bob, who one time got on the mat and got killed that day, doesn't count. Okay? We're looking
talking Hulk
for
Hogan,
marquee names.
Dwayne
We're talking
Johnson,
The Rock.
Johnson,
We're talking
Andre,
all of them.
Stone Cold.
Yeah.
The
Okay?
Miz.
5 movies rated from 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 that you think epitomize the talent level of acting that wrestlers can provide. Because let's be honest, okay?
I
when
can't
they're
do
doing
that. I
the
got to do
wrestling
guilty
thing-
pleasure.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
When they're doing the wrestling thing and they're doing their shtick, right? They're saying what they're saying. It is acting because I mean they're selling you a story, right?
To an extent, yeah.
But 90%, we remember the whole story about the morons. 90% of the time you're like, we know this is a means to an end. We're telling you this story so you understand why we're doing this. But a lot of wrestlers have transitioned to the big screen or even the small screen, like Netflix, right? The Big Show has one.
The Big Show.
Where
And The Rock has
you
the Young
find,
Rock.
and he's got like 17,000 movies, and
Rose
he's got
to the top.
tequila. So, but they have successfully proven that they are mobile enough in their selves that they can do those things. So 5, your top 5 movies or TV shows. I'll expand TV shows because I admit that some guys haven't made
I
it to
think
the
we
movies.
can stick with movies. I don't
This
think we
is
need
your
to.
You
mission
think?
if you
You
choose to
think?
accept it.
You think, Narge? Can you go movies only?
I could do movies only. I'd do it right now.
All right. Dwayne, I would ask you, but you won't be in 4
Brother.
weeks.
But
But you can
comment.
chime
But
in.
all the
You can
listeners-
chime in, yeah.
Everybody listening, chime in with your 5 too.
Yes, we want to hear your 5, but I'm really curious
For
because
Brown M&M.
I'm a fucking huge movie person.
Meet me
and there are some.
halfway.
There
Across
you go,
the sky.
Mr. Loggins. Listen to you. You're a little
Yeah.
thicker, but you're still
You-
Mr. Loggins.
You know who's in that?
Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, you're missing
Who?
a one.
Who?
The Dirty Funker.
Terry
That's
Funk,
right.
Yeah, he is in that.
The egg-sucking dog.
what
That's
about-
that's a
what about,
spoiler.
what
That's
about-
on my list.
What about Ox Baker? Isn't he in that? Or
no, no, not Ox. It's
Scott Norton.
Scott Norton's in it. The guy who played Bane is in it.
Jeep Swenson.
Jeep Swenson.
Ox Baker, he was in Escape from New York.
He was in The Price is
Jeep
Right.
Swenson is Bo Hurley. Yeah, right or no?
That's who I thought was
No,
Ox Baker.
Bo Hurley's somebody else. Move on. Dwayne.
Yeah, move on.
So your homework, not
Ox
for
is
the
in
next
Escape from New York,
episode,
yes.
but for the episode after that, because I want you to have time to assimilate,
Mm-hmm.
think, maybe view a movie or 10. We come back. I want to hear your top 5 movies starring pro wrestling. When I say starring, I don't mean, look, held open cab door. That's not it. They have to be one of the 5 named people that matters.
Inmate number 3.
Bo
Doesn't count.
Bo Hurley, by the way, was
Okay.
Richard Lee Zumwalt Jr., so not Jeep Swenson.
Okay.
Rick Zumwalt?
Richard Zumwalt.
Rick Zumwalt?
Not Zoomhoff.
The Rick Zumwalt?
All right, we're off the rails here. So
All
wait,
right.
Producer, turn Marco's microphone off.
All right.
I would like to say, though,
Done.
thank you guys for having me on. It's been a great time, and you guys are awesome.
Dwayne, you are our number 1 fan, and we enjoyed having you. Even though
Dwayne.
we give you a lot of shit, but it was fun.
We care about the kids. We're all about charity. So I'm glad you made this wish. That's why you're here.
Before we send off Dwayne, before we send Dwayne off, can we fucking kick Menders out?
Yeah, what are you still doing
Come
here?
on!
Menders, thank you for talking with us.
We love you,
Don't
Menders.
let the door hit you.
All right.
With a
I'll
good
try not
Lord.
to.
Split you.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Menders. Bye-bye.
Bye.
With that.
All right. I think that's a good stopping point. We went a little longer than we planned to. I know we said no more
My
3
wife
hour
said
shows.
that.
Yeah, my mom called, and she's like, I thought you were going to be home by now. I said, well,
That was the plan.
This is literally the first time on Jumping the Rail in history that somebody's mama called them home.
Damn it, Mom, I'm still on the podcast.
Mom!
Make sure that meatloaf's ready.
And on that shameful note, for Narge,
I heard he was done.
For Narge and Marco and Dwayne, this is Redmond. We'll see you in 2 weeks, maybe in 1 week. We'll see. And R.I.P. Scott Hall.
That's another one for the good guys.
Thanks, guys.
that was not